Vast ahoy and g'day once again to ye mateys! I be your ineffably supernatural and occasionally cryptic DM Josh the Pirate, and it brings me more joy than finding a treasure map that leads to a barrel of rum to welcome you back to Corsair's Cove and another adventure in my Humblewood world, but using a brand new system. We are using Major Magicka. With me, I have my hearty crew, the mystical Knight Geo, the occult Ardanna, and the paranormal Karen Schlink. So, let's talk about these lovely folks, shall we? Ardanna, who the heck are you?
Hi. I wasn't prepared to start. Hi, I am Ardanna. Yes, definitely. I'm Ardanna or Joe or sometimes Oi, you there, depending on the situation. My players sometimes I even call me Oi, what the fuck? I am the GM and channel runner over at the Lorite, and today I have the immense pleasure of playing here again.
Yes. Yeah, Geo, who the heck are you?
Hi, my name is Geo. For those who do recognize the name, you probably recognize as the plaster boy of a fuck off, and everyone likes to, pew pew and kill him and get annoyed at. So that's me, and that's why I'm here, because I'm literally meant to bring in chaos, and hopefully we can do that later on. I am from the OzQuest crew. If you know of OzQuest, you would also have heard that yesterday we actually started a new campaign that is run by the ever so lovely Promethean called Sword of the Skulls, and it's gone off fantastically well. So if you're curious to know how that goes, you can head over to OzQuest and whatnot. But that's not the point. Here we are with Corsair's Cove, and I'm excited to be here. It's like an honor, and I'm just like imposter syndroming intensely. So
don't worry, you're very welcome. We all do that. Yeah, it's really funny to. Karen and I recently went and hung out with a bunch of other streamers, and we all just. MVC was there, and Kate and Dragon Kier, and we were all like, none of us deserve any of the others as friends.
We're all just imposter syndroming together.
We're like, yeah, we're all imposters, it's fine. Karen, who the heck are you?
Hi, I am Karen, and I also don't deserve to be here. But I am sometimes known as the Mother of Bunnies. You can follow me on Twitter at Mother of Bunnies, where I tend to get irritated about things and retweet bunny pictures. So it's a mixture of wholesome and deep, sizzling rage at the injustices of the world, which is a weird combo. But, I'm trying to make it work. I'm a writer, puppeteer, deeply addicted to the depths of the internet. So for your fun weird facts, come hit me up, or you can listen to me on the podcast There Be Dragons, where I play a dragonborn warrior called Rylan Westfall, or you can find me here usually on Monday and Thursday nights, or you can follow Miss Lollamore over on Instagram, where I do my burlesque content, and you can watch me live on stage on the 24th of June in the Mixed Burlesque WA competition. Which is very soon, and I have prep to do. Not panicked at all.
Not at all. It's
a little
fine.
over 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks now. It's fine. You'll be fine. Rubinsky King, you are here. You are ground zero for a new campaign, so you have nothing to catch up on. This is fine for everybody. There is a link for some of the socials. It's here. Socials. That's the one. There you are, Rubinsky King. And Mesdames et Messieurs, Damen und Herren, and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, which I run with my lovely lady wife, the Mother of Bunnies. But you know that, because you've done it already. Good job, keep doing it. And I run various games here with my lovely friends. We run a consistent Humblewood setting world where two campaigns are currently ongoing, and we're about to start a third.
Because why
Now,
not?
today, right now, that's what's happening. But we're going to be using a different system because, fuck it, let's make it more complicated. So this is canon in Humblewood, but these are characters in a different style. So Major Magicka is all about wizard students at a wizard school. Humblewood happily features one, the Avium, so that's where we're going to be setting this. And we are brand new characters in this setting, so we all... Oh, Promethean is raiding! Promethean, you bloody champion. Thank you for the raid, buddy.
Come on.
Favorite raid emotes up in chat. Guys, and if you want to see some awesome D&D content, as Gio has already pointed out, go head on over to OzQuest for Promethean's campaign over there. But you can also just straight up check Promethean out. So let's have a shout out. We've had it from somebody else. Well done. Good job, whoever did that. I imagine it was Ardanna, because it wasn't me. Guys, yeah, check out Promethean. I'm going to smash that follow button right now. There you go.
Yeah, every now and again I realize I'm not following someone
not
who I really
following that
should be
person?
following, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Because fuck it, let's make it more complicated. Quote Josh the Pirate. Yes, Crispin, exactly. Emily
You
Grace,
have no
hey!
idea how often that statement could be applied to Josh's life choices.
Yep.
I have no idea what you're meaning. 2 different system, 3 campaigns in the same consistent world. Who would do that?
It'll be fine.
You know, if these characters ever meet characters from the other campaign, that won't be a problem. We definitely won't have to work out how to make 2 systems interact in a way that makes narrative and gaming sense.
And just not break reality while we're at it, you know. Just
Well, this is the thing. So
Right.
this system is all about breaking reality, which is why I'm kind of excited for it. It is good to see you too, Emily Grace. Yeah, you can find me here doing this sort of thing on Monday and Thursday nights where we run games. Karen and I are often here on Monday nights trying out new systems. And then on Tuesday nights, I like to check out even more new systems. Whee! Very soon, we will be having a game of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Because I like even new... That one's going to be fun as well. I have no idea what I am doing. That one's going to be interesting. And then in July, Teens in Space. Teens in Space!
Nice!
Will be coming back as well. Hey, Ash makes props. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us, you bloody champion. Yes.
Just as I said space, my partner walked by and gave me a what the fuck look.
Yep.
Explaining what we do to my completely non-nerdy family is just amazing, because
Maybe
they
that's
just have
because
no
I'm-
idea.
Crispin Crunch says maybe because I'm not a lesbian. Actually, spoilers, Crispin Crunch, I identify as a lesbian. Have done for years. And it's only becoming more and more accurate, actually. What do I need to talk about? We have all the exclamation mark socials, but I must also remind our mystic, preternatural, and possibly even otherworldly audience to please like, follow, and subscribe. We have the YouTube. I'm not a real person, I just several D&D characters stuffed into a human suit. Valid, Ash makes props. I feel often exactly the same way.
Half a D&D team in a trench coat.
Yeah. We have the YouTube, so check us out there for all the episodes you may have missed, including the 108-ish episodes of Humblewood. There's one missing, and it's the one Gio was in. And I need to get Saz to send me the link to it so I can upload it. We also have a Discord if you want to come hang out with us there. We've sort of reached a critical mass with the Discord recently, so now there is stuff happening that I'm not prompting, and now people are chatting, and it's starting to, and I'm like, ooh, this is exciting. Yes.
So much fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Watching the ecosystem grow sort of organically is really fun. Now, guys,
It really is.
So, new system, new game, how does, very well. So Major Magicka is a very rules-light system. The whole rule book is 25 pages long, but a lot of it is how does. There's even a theme song. And it was created by Septilian Bean, also known as the Dark Star. Devin Nelson is the person. Devin Nelson came up with this lovely system. It's very simple. It uses D6s as its primary dice, and it's very easy. So, what do you need to be a wizard? A handful of d6s or a digital roller, something to take notes with, a few friends, one of whom is willing to be the game master, 2 to 4 hours, and a passion for the mystifying, a proclivity for chaos, a desire to solve problems with clever spellcasting, and a butt ton of hubris. You will need to make some notes. You will need something to make notes on, but a little scrap of paper will probably do you. While it is possible to play this game without a GM, I think that's silly. So, first of all, is there any concepts that we don't want to include? Anything that we want to avoid? Anything that makes people feel particularly comfortable? And you can message me privately if you would like, rather than to reveal your innermost problems and secrets live on stream. But yeah, if you have, I will be avoiding themes of harm to children or animals. If it does occur, it will happen off screen. It is very much a hard veil for me. Not necessarily a line, but definitely a veil. And in terms of, it'll only happen in the vaguest of terms. Basically,
I don't like torture.
Yeah, no torture generally. Sure, probably easy enough to avoid that one.
Given my impression of the system, I don't think torture is likely to come up, but I'm like, no. There's something about even vaguely alluding or RPing torture. I'm just like, I'm very uncomfortable.
One of the big things that will probably come up is body horror. There is a lot of, and it's where my brain tends to go when magical fuckery comes along anyway. So yeah, if you have an issue with that, let me know. And there is a wonderful thing I like in this. It's called expunge. If something comes up you don't like and you hadn't really sort of clocked that you wouldn't like it until it actually happens, you go, right, hang on, just give me the X and we will stop immediately and we will retcon the shit out of what just happened and come up with something else.
Just cast a rewind spell and that's
exactly.
Done.
Time is mutable.
Yep.
So creating a
I
wizard.
have two things.
Please, yes.
Sexual violence is a no-go.
Yep.
Any kind. And please, no detailed descriptions of setting people on fire.
Valid.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't need that. No.
Very well.
No, that sounds horrible.
Anything?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around how can you go beyond, I just set this person on fire and that's it. Like, how does it go further than that?
I'm not going to. So my brain immediately was like, I could. Oh, wait. We just said don't do that.
My creative writer brain immediately went, I can think of some really horrible analogies to describe that, but I'm not going to because no.
Like my brain went to the smell, the crisping, just not.
No. Let me just put that I was recently playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And in one scene, the good choice for me personally is to cut someone's throat instead of letting him set himself on fire.
Right.
Okay.
Is it crispy? Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Well, for me personally, I will just be mindful of the expunge, and that's about it. I'm not really. I'm very comfortable with a lot of things. It's weird.
Very well.
It's weird. I'm more comfortable with stuff if it feels like it's working narratively. Like I always dislike stories where it feels like they're putting in, something horrible just for the shock value.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, this doesn't feel narratively necessary. You're just trying to get a reaction out of me, and you have.
Well done. So yes, first of all, follow the prompts below to create your wizard. Feel free to make them as ridiculous as you like, and don't worry about any sort of normality in terms of what a person can be. In this setting, obviously, we are, for the vast majority, fun animal folk. There are a few not that. We have an elf and a goblin in this setting. There is also a dragonborn wandering around somewhere. The occasional plane jumpers do happen. But I think the three of you have already decided what you're going to be. So, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing, and we will also, describe your wizard. Choose 2 looks and vibes from the list, or make your own. Looks: cool hat, flashy jacket, billowing robe, strange eyes, small familiar, big glasses, mysterious tattoo, dull ratty rags, weird sword, patterned dress. And vibes: confident, edgy, vibrant, enigmatic, kind, unique, beautiful, energetic, unsettling, intimidating, or forgettable, which is quite interesting. These animals would be wearing pants, yes.
Hold on. Yes, I have a feeling I know where that's going.
Geo would certainly be at least initially wearing pants.
You know what? Just to add on that point, one of my looks is I have very fancy cargo pants.
Love it. Excellent.
No t-shirt, just cargo pants.
Not Donald ducking it. Yeah, cool. Initially, yeah. So, Ardanna, tell me about Nicodemus.
Nicodemus is I think you would describe him as beautiful. He is a beautiful elephant shrew. He is specifically the Eastern Rock is what I based him on. So very long snout, big ears, long tail, and hind legs made for hopping.
Oh.
He has very long lashes and huge round glasses. Like think the Fly grandfather from Disney shorts.
Yep.
Like that kind of huge glasses. Yes.
Cool.
Mouse-like mammal. Yes. They are very cute.
I just Googled it and nearly died of adorableness.
They are very cute.
Yes.
This would be a gerbine in this setting, a mouse folk. Very
Yes.
easy to fit that one in. Cool. And what would Nicodemus's goals be? Determine one of your wizard's goals. Choose from the list or make your own. Uncover lost truths, become powerful, become popular, transcend this feeble form, elucidate the secrets of the cosmos, continue the notoriety of my bloodline. I don't know yet, I'm just trying this on. Or I have no memory and magic is all I know. This is quite an interesting group of things.
When I was looking at it, I was thinking uncover lost truths.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that his thing is that anytime he finds something he hasn't heard of before, his snoot twitches. So it's like,
Ooh, all about them lost secrets. Excellent.
yeah.
Cool. And we'll that's cool. Excellent information, interesting descriptions. Let's talk about Hawa.
Hawa. Okay, so this is going to be a character I'm interested to play. He is based on, I'm not sure the Humblewood's version of a brown-toothed sloth.
A Mapatch.
Mapatch. Now, how do we spell
Technically
that?
speaking, Mapach.
In Humblewood. Cool. So, now, as we've established just a moment ago, he is wearing pants, and he's wearing green cargo pants. His fur color is going to be brown fur, based on the whole brown-toothed sloth. But on the top of his head, his fur color is actually black fur, and it's kind of got a haircut as if it's a bowl haircut.
Excellent.
So that's how he's looking. His energy is he's going to be a very chill kind of character. Just sort of goes along with the flow, but very forgetful. Meaning he's got a short-term memory, and when it comes to location and map awareness, it's out the window. Like he'll be following the party, and then next thing you know, he's just walking down another pathway, thinking that's the way to go, and not even realize why he's walking down that. So that's going to be great. So the next and last thing is, and this is where actually going to come into question with everybody else's comfort. He is a sloth, so he's going to have a very interesting speech pattern. There's two ways I was intending on having him talk, and I wanted to know which one is your preference. There is one where I say the words very slowly, or I say the words at an appropriate level, but there's a gap in between each word throughout the sentence. Ooh. For example, so you've got like, hi, my name is Geo.
Yeah.
That's the first one. Or the other one is, hi, my name is Geo.
I think I prefer the second.
I would say second. I think I'm less likely to confuse what words you're trying to say.
Yeah, there's that for clarity, and it gives other people a chance to like, I think I figured out what the second half of this sentence is going to be, and I can save us 5 minutes.
Alright, easy.
I am a big fan of the sloth scene in Zootopia. So
Yeah.
That's the inspiration. It is
yeah.
literally Flash from Zootopia is the inspiration
But
for
a
this
wizard.
character. But in a wizard and not driving a fast car.
Yet.
Not yet.
oh, that movie was great.
But yeah, that is Hawa,
Excellent.
which name is actually Arabic for air, and he is going to be a gravity air elemental wizard.
Ooh,
Excellent.
fascinating. Cool,
Oh,
cool,
no,
cool.
sorry, goal. He needs a goal.
Yeah,
doesn't
what's
he?
his goal?
Great question. I think his goal is to just be able to reach a point where he can just fly endlessly forever and always eat and do nothing. Like he reaches a level of magic skills where he can, everything's automatic and he can just vibe and do nothing.
Excellent.
Honestly, that's a pretty solid life goal.
Yeah, just vibe. He just wants
vibing.
to vibe. Everything's happening around him. Doesn't even realize why.
No
He forgot
stress,
why.
just vibes.
Forgot. He set the alarms on, and it just everything's happening at once. It's just like, oh, okay.
And Chaotic Goblin had a really shitty Saturday by the looks of it. Interesting 4 a.m. experience. Got a natural 1 in perception and took 2 bashing damage. In other words, I broke 2 of my toes. Metal chicken decorations. 1. My toes. -2. Ow. Sorry to hear that, buddy.
Ow.
Hey, treasure. Ultimate power. Must be the ultimate lazy. Okay. Karen.
Exactly.
I'd be down with that. I'd be so down with that.
Karen, tell us about Aoife.
Aoife is a puffin. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a penguin-esque bird found in Wales.
They can fly a bit.
They can fly a bit. They're not great flyers, but they can fly. But yeah, they live on the coast. They've got incredibly bright orange beaks and feet.
Very cute.
Very cute. And yeah, black and white coloring. Like a penguin if you made it more like a actual bird and less like a penguin.
The creatures in the bird animal things that live on the cliffs near Luke's hideout in the Star Wars, the later Star Wars movies, those things are pretty much puffins. They're like rounder puffins. Yeah, puffin books, Epsilon Deck, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where the name comes from.
Traditional dish in the Faroe Islands.
Would technically in this setting be called a luma?
Yes. We had something of a discussion about what it would be classified as, and we decided luma was most appropriate. But yes, Aoife is a change magician, so
transmutation.
Transmutation. My brain just wanted to make up a fancy word that was like transmogrification. And I'm like, no.
You could do that.
Transmutation. So a change wizard. She likes to change things.
Cool.
But because one of the vibes was vibrant, and I'm like, oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I think a puffin would appreciate vibrant things.
Yes, cool.
He likes color.
So what does she look like? How does she dress? How does she comport herself?
Well, she would have wizarding robes. I think she likes to dress the part, so she'll have her.
I actually happen to know that transmutation wizards wear black robes with yellow piping up the edges. That is canonic in the world.
She loves that, and she's probably pimped it out a little bit. She's probably put some extra yellow ribbons on it or something to make it a little fancier. Cool. And if you look at puffins, they actually have quite interesting eyes because they have this weird like triangle sort of shape around their eye, and then the eye is obviously within that kind of triangle marking. So it's very striking looking. So she's got quite unusual eyes.
Glorious. And what would her goal be?
Ooh. Yeah, I've been dithering about this all afternoon. I'm not sure what I want her goal to be.
You could just do, I don't know yet, I'm just trying this on. Not knowing is fine.
Yeah, let's roll with that then.
Okay. Cool. Now.
Beyond natural ability to be magical, so she's like, well, I'm good at this, so I'm rolling with it until a better option comes along.
It just pays well at the moment, that's all.
So a wizard always has a casting kit, a means of self-defense, personal effects, and an ID card for the college. In fact, you would have more than an ID card. Each of you will have an Avium amulet. It is a little necklace necklace thing that you wear. I've put it up on stream so you can see. They all look like this. And if you clasp it in your hands and think of home, you blamf back to the teleportarium in the Avium. It's a teleportation key as well. It also has a secondary function. If you are looking for someone specifically in the Avium, you can place it on your hand and say the person's name, and it will rotate to be lead you where you're looking to go. So it's like a compass.
And at what point will Hawa ever remember that that's actually a feature of it? It's a question.
Yeah, it's handy. It saves an awful lot of trouble. So what would your means of self-defense be, each of you?
Ooh.
I think Nicodemus said something about a sword, right? In the chat.
Yeah. So one of the things I saw was a sword, but I don't think it would look like a sword. It would basically be like, imagine a sharp metal stick that has grown in, like a tree has grown around it.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically broke that off and sharpened the edge of it. So it's
cool.
a long side. So it's more of a go away kind of thing than an actual sword.
That's cool.
The Lost Archives are raiding us as well. What bloody champions! Guys, thank you so much for the raid! Oh my goodness, those are very cute. I just saw a picture of the long nose of the elephant shrew. The sloths are very cute too. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for the raid, you bloody champions. How are you guys? Favorite raider modes up in chat, everybody. Raid. I've got the Arthur Goose raids up there. Guys, thanks so much. It's absolutely lovely to see you. We are starting something new. We are just in the beginning, the formative phase of starting Major Magicka. Guys, if you are looking for a very cool D&D stream to have a check out, have a shout out at the Lost Archives. Boom. Check them out. They have just, I believe they were playing Curse of Strahd today.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, shucks. Nah. Oh, and it's absolutely true, and it's lovely what they say about you. They are stream team buddies of ours, and we appreciate them muchly. Yes, we are starting Major Magicka. It's set in my Humblewood world at the Avium. You were herding cats. We are just figuring out who these people even are, and I am joined by a couple of special guests. The wonderful Lorite from The Lorite, and the Knight Geo from OzQuest, which is very exciting, and of course my love. Well, welcome. You are all exceptionally welcome here. Thank you for bringing your peeps, the Lost Archives, a pleasant time zone to all of you. Guys, Karen, Geo, what means of self-defense do Aoife and Hawa have?
I was thinking it would be fun to have a sling. So she's got a little bag of pebbles, but obviously because her magic is changing, she can change the pebbles into
That's cool. That's
something she might prefer to shoot at you.
Like that a lot. Hawa?
Everything from marshmallows to flaming hot coals.
Amazing.
Depending on the situation.
I want to see if this is okay. Am I allowed to have it's this pillow?
I'm unlikely to say no, but yes, pillow, yes.
So he's wearing cargo pants. There's a lot of pockets.
Mm-hmm.
One of these pockets has this pillow that can shrink into the pocket size, but when he pulls it out, it goes into a normal size pillow. However, it also has the capacity to harden up to like steel to be like a shield.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely have a transmutating shield pillow.
Yes, done. He sleeps with it, but then that's his
Shapillo?
self-defense is...
Shillo?
Shillo. Shillo. We'll call it Shiloh?
Nilo?
Shillo.
My brain went to shillelagh, but that's a different thing.
Peeled.
Appealed. It's appealed.
Shiloh pillow?
It's
It's
appealing.
It's quite appealing, yeah.
Quite appealing. So it's appealed.
Yep.
Done. That's what would be his self-defense if he's allowed to have. If we
Love
can
it.
have that, that'd be great.
You absolutely can. Yes, you also have either a casting kit or a spellcasting focus, whichever you prefer. Preferred weapon is comfy chair. Yes, Dak.
No, not the comfy
Poke him with
chair.
the soft cushion. Have you got it metallized so that when you poke it with it, actually it's quite painful. And you all have one spell style. You start out with one, and then you can gain more as we go. So this is your speciality, your signature flavor, your inherent talent, or your college major. Cardinal Biggins. Yes, exactly. Cardinal Fang. So, spell styles. What have you got? What have you chosen?
Starting off with air elemental.
That's right, we did this. Yeah.
Did this, and then I know, like, we eventually, because I kind of
We'll pick up a second.
I will
Yeah.
be picking up a second, which ends up being gravity. So,
Cool. Alrighty. Air elemental to begin with, which is
Yes.
interesting. This would come under the conjuration school, but with a speciality with a focus in air elemental magic. I'm like, heck yeah. Aoife was going to be a transmutation wizard, and Nicodemus was... Illusion. Love it. Cool.
Yeah, so specifically with using light.
That's right.
Because I was looking at the gerbeans, and they are not the most brave things in this world because they're small and chewy. And
Sure.
so he has specialized in illusions.
Very well. The amaranthine of the Gerbeans, Gaspard, is literally the god of bravery. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they are brave,
That's okay.
but
Yeah, no, they can be brave, but they are small. They are small and chewy.
they are small
They're small
and
boys.
chewy, and they are. I mean, Nicodemus would probably be brave, but he's not dumb, so he
Yeah.
won't take
He's not stupid.
too
yeah.
many.
So-
Too many
Sometimes bravery is
unnecessary-
deciding that you should hide instead of engaging in this stupid decision.
Yeah, you have, in this system, you have 4 abilities. 4 things that you can be good at. 4 skills that you take. Basically, where in D&D you would have like those 20 skills, athletics, acrobatics, and all of those. In this, there are 4. Shift, Ponder, Evoke, and Bloviate. And I had to look up Bloviate, but it basically means talk at length.
Dead Nahalna.
So, you have 4 points to spend initially, and when you leveling up basically means you get a new spell style, or you add another point in one of your 4 skills. You have 4 points to spend. You can do 1 in each. You can have a point in Bloviate, a point in Shift, a point in Ponder, or a point in Evoke. Or you can divide them more differently and not have a point in something. Or you can put all 4 in one thing if you want. There is nothing stopping you doing that. However, the number of different things you have dictates the number of times you can use hubris and resistance. No, it's resistance. So if you have 1 in Bloviate, 1 in Shift, and 2 in Evoke, you have 3 uses of resistance. If you only have 2 different things, say 2 in Shift and 2 in Evoke, you only get 2 uses of resistance. And resistance is functionally magical plot armor. It's like a hero point, essentially. And
Like, screw you, I do the thing.
then basically, how it works is whenever you have to make a check, whenever something is difficult and risky, you use one of the 4 skills, whichever is most appropriate. The number of points you have in it is the number of dice you get to roll when you're doing that. You can also add a die if someone else is helping you, but if you fail, they share in your failure. And add a die if you're requesting assistance from an entity, that being a powerful being of some sort. and add a die if you could reasonably apply one of your spell styles. So if you are doing gravity magic and you are Hawa, then you get to add a point in that.
Let's go.
That's basically it. And the roll you need to succeed is a 6. Anything else is a fail. However, you can...
Feels a little harsh.
Well, you could be potentially rolling 4 or 5 dice. If you're deliberately choosing to stack the deck in your favor. And you can, if you fail, you can add hubris. You can take a point if hubris to turn a fail into a success. The more dice in your pool, the roll to work out what happens. If you have 0 dice in the pool for a check, it is possible to still make it. You just roll 2 and take the lower roll. So you roll a single dice, a single d6 with disadvantage. Rolling a 6 is a success, rolling 2 6s is a critical success, and the GM will describe an additional benefit. Rolling 3 6s is a cosmic success that draws attention, good or bad, of local entities, and somewhere between 4 and 6 successes can tear at the seams of reality. You can, however, overcome failure with hubris. Anything less than a 6 is a failure. On a failure, there will be consequences and establish how things get worse and or more complicated. However, on a failure, a wizard may still choose to succeed through hubris, their sheer force of magical will. Add ticks to your hubris track. Every time you have 6 ticks on your hubris track, you suffer instability. And after you've suffered 4 instabilities, you turn into an entity. And stop being a player character. Effectively, you are removed from the story. And instability gets more complicated the more of it happens to you. There are ways to lower your hubris or get rid of instability. Basically, you have to go to see the catharsisomancer, which I think is an excellent term.
That sounds way better than seeing a therapist.
Yeah. You can also resist a failure when you are... if you fail, you can instead use your resistance instead. And that just... You succeed instead, but it does get weirder. The situation gets weirder, specifically. And that's basically all you need to know. So, guys, how are you dividing your 4 abilities? Your 4 points?
Well, firstly, I'm going to use one of them to gain another spell style, hence where the gravity will come from.
Okay.
I'm definitely not going to put it into below V8 because I think we'll be here forever with Hawa talking. He is lazy, so he clearly doesn't want to use his body at all to do anything whatsoever, so there's no more in shift. He will ponder because he wants to think about things, but 2 will be an evoke because, again, ultimate power to be ultimately lazy, everything needs to be automated.
Love it. Okay, 2 points in evoke, 1 in ponder, and a second spell style. Excellent. Okay.
Done.
Aoife?
I was thinking, so when they say use the physical form to overcome obstacles, is that referring to your physical form or just any? Oh, okay. So your
Consider
body.
it strength and dex.
Gotcha. Because like her magic is in changing things, and I'm like, does shift refer to that?
Could do. In certain situations, it definitely could do if she's changing herself.
If I'm shifting my appearance.
I guess you could say like you would do that as shift, but then you can add an extra die because using a spell style.
Yeah. It's deliberately sort of open-ended. It's deliberately sort of vague.
Yeah. Okay.
Using the physical form, not just yours. Others as well could be. Have a think.
I think I will... Oh... See, the boring, safe person in me just wants to put 1 in each.
Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. I would strongly endorse 2 1 and 1 and be bad at something.
Okay. So I can still do the thing, it's just not my specialty.
Yeah.
Cool. Well then...
I'm going to go to Ardanna while you think.
Yeah, sorry.
Ardanna, what are you going to do?
Just sitting here, like my brain's playing elevator music.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Nicodemus.
Yes. So I think I would like to put 2 points in ponder because he wants to know all the things.
Yep.
And I think he would be a person who likes to talk about what he's learned.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put 1 in
Loviate,
and then 1 in evoke.
Yeah. Love it. Cool. So no one is good at shifting at all yet.
Why wouldn't
I
we?
imagine
Just
like
magic.
this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just magic.
I imagine like Nicodemus' big glasses would sometimes be a hindrance.
Yeah. Aoife, I would advise at least 1 point in shift.
I was
Just to
leaning
cover your bases.
Yeah, I was leaning towards putting 2 in shift.
Ooh.
Because with a kind of loose-ish interpretation that it's about shifting physical things apart from just myself.
Yep.
And then 1 in ponder and 1 in evoke.
Yep, I think it's a very good idea. Cool. You've got the mouth, the Hawa is probably the magically gifted, like probably the most powerful wizard of all of you. But one of you can
Natural
talk,
talent.
and one of you is very good at moving, and then you're all a bit good at studying. I think that works very well. Cool. So each of you, so Nicodemus and Aoife would have 3 uses of resistance, while Hawa has 2. And you can regain those in between adventures. Basically,
Okay.
you have to choose a particular action of one of 3 actions you can take during the sort of interspace period to regain your resistance. So it is retrievable, but it's a fairly rare resource. Consider it like that. Although, let's find out. So, I think that one last question before we begin. I love the Teens in Space getting to know you system. So we're going to do that. And you guys are going to answer questions about each other.
Ooh.
So,
Yes.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to answer a question about somebody else?
Sure, done. Let's
All
go.
right, Gio, roll me a d20.
Roll your d20. No worries.
And who would you like to answer a question about?
That's a 5, and
Yup.
you know what? I'm gonna go with Nicodemus.
Oh, what potential do you see in Nicodemus that they don't?
Potential. They're gonna be the most popular kid there.
Oh, hell yeah.
The
They're not
potential
currently, but they will be.
Potential is everyone's gonna know their name. They're gonna be known, and everyone's gonna love them. But popularity just out the window.
Right. Cool. Love it. Excellent. Well, Nicodemus, who do you want to answer a question about?
Well, let's go with Aoife then. So we.
We'll do 2 of each, so everybody gets to answer a question about each other.
Okay.
I think, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go with Aoife first then.
Very well then. Roll me a d20. So I've conflated the 2 lists, the good and the bad, in the Teens in Space to one big list.
Nice.
11.
An 11. Oh, that's lovely. What is the bravest thing you've ever seen Aoife do?
Oh, okay. That my brain is immediately going to like all this stuff happening in the Humblewood campaigns.
I would say that none of you are directly involved with any of those.
Yeah. So no, but no.
Ava could well be from. I'm imagining Ava would probably be from Saltar's Point, which is a seaside town built into cliffs. So she may have tangled with a wake worm at one point while she was at home on school break.
Yeah, but why would Nicodemus be there to see it?
Maybe they're friends. Maybe they were hanging out.
It's one of those, summer beach episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental image of a puffin in a bikini.
I mean, yes.
Absolutely.
All of that, yes.
Yeah. Feathers sticking out around the...
No, Nicodemus is not a trickster. Come on. Tricks the brain out of the gutter. I was gonna go... I've seen her put a mackerel in the headmaster's drawers, but no. Not a trickster. But yeah, why not? At one point... No, I know. At one point we were at the seaside and Nicodemus saw Eva dive in to rescue a Mapache child who was dragged out by the waves.
Love it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Cool. Eva, who do you want to answer?
We've
Hawa?
sort of done a round robin here, so I'll do Hawa.
Yeah.
Hawa. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, roll a d20.
18.
An 18. How far would you go to protect Hawa?
Aww. I think she'd go pretty far. Just because, she's like, Howard's he's a little slow, physically, and she's a bird. She's quite nippy. She needs to be. So she's like, I'll be ready if a physical thing is impeding that he might not be able to get out of the way in time, and keep an eye out for this sort of shit for it.
Cool. Alrighty. So it's sort of always on their mind a little bit. I love that Eva and Nicodemus are both quite small. They would be size class small. Races, and Hawa is a medium-sized creature.
Just lumbering slowly.
Hello. Alrighty, let's turn it back around. Geo, roll me a d20 to answer about Eva.
All right, I rolled a 12.
A 12. What is the kindest thing you've ever seen Eva do?
Ooh.
Now I'm thinking about the trickster thing. Oh, that's okay. It will play on that because I really like the idea of them being a mackerel in the Grandmaster's chambers, but instead of being a smelly fish, because Aoife could smell the smelly fish, decided to take away and put a really nice smelling flower.
Ah, okay. Sure. Yeah. So somebody else did the trick,
somebody
and she
else
was
sabotaged it. No, I'm going to step in and do the right thing.
That's not okay.
Plot twist: Aoife knows who it is and actually put the mackerel in their person's locker.
Love it.
That's the twist.
Yeah, excellent. All right, Karen, roll me a d20.
5.
5. We've had that, but let's do it again. What potential do you see in Nicodemus? I love it. They're both answering the same question about Nicodemus. You can roll again if you like, because it's about the same character, or we can answer the same one.
I think for the sake of variety, I'll roll it again. 2.
A 2. How was Nicodemus instrumental in convincing you to go to the Avium?
Ooh. I think that they... Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of rolling with this. I think they were like, you're really good at magic. You don't think you are, but you are. So, maybe you should go and study it and you'll find a passion. So they're the one who pointed out that, that I was actually good at this and should pursue it.
I think you met at this event. They saw you save this kid, and puffins can swim real well, but they can't breathe underwater. And I reckon you inherently just magicked yourself being able to breathe underwater, and then magicked the kid. There was a lot of magic, and you sort of revived the kid with magic. but it was all instinctive. You were just running on instinct. And Nicodemus is like, hey, you should go to the Avium. Does that work?
Yeah.
Cool.
Tie those two together.
All right, love it. Hey, Rob the Bearded Dragon, how you going, mate? Right, Nicodemus, roll me a d20 for Hawa.
Okay. 15.
15.
Then,
What would it take for you to leave Hawa behind? Yeah, I only put about 5 of the bad ones in. They're mostly the nice ones, but I put in a few bad ones, or like less than positive.
He's just too slow. Just
Like, you often run the
No.
risk of leaving him behind. What would it take for you to actually do it? And it could be a lot. It could be like the end of the world.
Yeah, I think if it's a matter of life and death and Hawa is stuck, Nicodemus would run ahead and try to get help.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think...
So only if leaving them was the way to save them.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. Love it. Alrighty. Well, mateys, may your magic be suitable for most situations and all your extracurricular activities come with faculty approval as we head tremulously at first and then with mounting heat and passion to the Avium. So, the Everden is a broad and varied world filled with secrets, danger, and spots of elemental chaos. However, dotted around are little pockets of tranquility, and one such, at least to the outside observer, is the Humblewood, where the people, the birdfolk and the humble folk live in peace and mutual reliance, broadly speaking. Alderheart, the great kilometre-high tree and capital city, stands sentinel in the centre of it, its birdfolk council ruling with justice and a reasonably even hand, though there has been some fuckery around that recently. Our story begins.
See our Thursday night campaign,
Yeah.
Humblewood of Monsters and Magic.
For more information on the race war that is brewing at the moment. In fact, it's in full swing. Uncommonly, our story begins in a school. The Avium, a mighty wizard college of the wood. The intent was originally to grow a second tree to rival the Alderheart, a seedling from the same stock. And for a while it worked, but eventually the tree took a wasting sickness, and in an effort to save it, the wizards who called the place home cast some powerful earth magic on it. The unintended side effect, however, unfortunately was the death of the tree, but it slowly petrified. However, the school persisted, and now the Avium stands the second tallest structure in the Humblewood by a considerable margin, and the greatest seat of learning within it by an even larger one. Well over 300 meters high and orbited by a dozen towers and domes containing special areas for learning, and the private abodes of the more eccentric faculty members, the Avium is a unique and wondrous place, and deep within it, we find our heroes at breakfast. So I will put a picture of the Avium up. There you are. That is what the wonderful Avium looks like. So it is orbited, as you can see, by these little terrariums. And loads of little floating things. These are the branches that originally fell when it died. And yeah, they magicked them back up with the earth around them, and now the branches sort of orbit it slowly with bridges sticking out at various places, and you have to wait for the bridge and the place you're trying to get to match up and then dash across. It is not the most efficient system. It's not super safe. Birdfolk do not struggle with this place. It's more of a humble folk at the bridges are who it's for, really. And yeah, you're in the main hall, and you're having breakfast. The food it's basically everything is covered. Tuition covers the whole lot. So you are housed on campus, you are fed on campus, and the faculty generally adore their jobs, love their students, and some are cantankerous, some are great. you would all have your own sort of mentor professor. The conjuration professor, which would be Hawa's sort of head of department, would be Professor Reese Birchwalker, who is a raptor. He looks like a hawk. The transmutation professor is Professor Scrymore, a gerbine, but enormous. She is the size and shape of a kangaroo. Who would be Nicodemus's? Nicodemus's illusion. I have not named the illusion professor. So, Nicodemus, you are in a unique position. Ardanna, you can name the professor of and describe them if you like, of illusion magic at the Avium if you want. Or I can make up something.
I immediately think, the original image of a Luma in the Humblewood book?
I think I know exactly the one you mean.
Yeah.
It might be that one.
Yes, that one.
That is Gabe Winsworth. That is the dean of the Avium.
Yeah, but imagine that, but white, like a white pigeon.
Yeah.
As for a name, I am terrible with names. I tend to use the
in which
fantasy
case,
name generator.
Let us say, because I have a few prepared, I might like this one. The illusion professor is Harlow Solforth.
Ooh.
Sounds cool, yeah.
Professor Harlow Solforth. A Luma.
Sounds dramatic.
Illusion professor. Excellent. Boom.
He always appears in it like some sort of dramatic way.
Yep.
Puff of smoke or a flash of light.
They are extremely flamboyant. I'm actually going to go a little bit further. They're not a white pigeon. They are a pheasant.
Ah, yes.
A
That would fit.
A white pheasant with quite an exceptional tail.
That's cool.
Quentin Beak. Dak, I'm keeping that. Quentin Beck.
What was the conjuration again? Reese, and what was the surname?
Birchwalker.
Birchwalker. Cool. And would there happen, is the one for gravity, would that be the same thing? Or gravity 4?
Possibly Minkus Varus, who is a Mapatch. They are the enchantment professor.
Enchantment professor. Cool.
Because you're doing a double major.
Yes, I am. Somehow. Somehow. Double majoring, and it was the name again, sorry?
Minkus Varus.
Minkus
Minkus Varus.
Varus. Cool. And also match. Nice. Easy. Done.
Alrighty. And we'll put on a little bit of Avium ambience. And you guys are sitting at breakfast, having a meal. And you have been given, you have a half day off. You have a classes free afternoon. And you are planning what you're going to do. Basically, it's not so much, it's free study time. And you have been given a couple of, there is a notice board of teachers and professors and other faculty looking for assistants for extra credit. There's a couple that have sort of taken your fancy. And what I love about this game is it is technically no prep. I did a little bit of prep because I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to fit this into the world. Because of an ongoing world doesn't require a little bit of thought. But I did roll the I used the thing to roll up a couple of projects for you. So the first project I got was representing the college to broker an understanding in the old abandoned campus where a magical anomaly is threatening people's livelihood. That was the first project, and the second one was collecting information to test a professor's research hypothesis in the depths of the college where an entity is doing something weird. So an entity in this setting, entities being creatures or beings of extreme power. In this setting, there are loads of things that would qualify. Astorials and Amaranthines, the angels and deities of this setting, definitely would qualify as entities. As would most of the professors here, to be honest. Particularly Korvax Ravania, the divination wizard, the divination professor. He is god tier divination. He basically, most of them assume he knows everything. He doesn't, but he knows most things. Then there are a lot of elemental forces as well. Powerful elementals would definitely qualify as entities, and there are also some fae and the occasional undead wandering around as well that would also definitely qualify. So the two projects that are up, one of them is requesting a team. This one is the Professor Windcrest, the cleric professor, the professor of cleric studies, is asking for, is offering extra credit for a team to go and check out the village of Ashbarrow near the old abandoned campus, where they are having some serious issues with the undead. And that is all that is known thus far. Ashbarrow has retained a really good relationship with the Avium. The Avium, the wizard school used to be, the old campus, is within the Scorched Grove, which is far across on the other side of the wood from where the Avium currently is. But when the Scorched Grove happened, which is basically an explosion of fire magic and burned down about half the wood, we decided to move the wizard school to not the burning glades. Ashbarrow is on the very border of the Scorched Grove, and has a really good ongoing relationship with the people of the Avium. And Professor Birchwalker, the conjuration professor, is researching the long-term effects of elemental magic on the soul. Toward their goals, she would like you to investigate rumors of a fiery spectral being which seems to be menacing the depths of the college. So, what do you think? Chat amongst yourselves. Yes, I wrote 2 adventures for this. You're welcome.
Well, for flavour, I'm going to say that Aoife has assembled an assortment of fish to eat for breakfast.
Oh.
So she's got some herring, some haddock, some tuna. She's just made herself a little miniature fish buffet that she's picking her way through.
Hawa is just staring at the board, at the options, and it's just like, sort of talking to himself, like, oh, man, this is such a drag. Why do I need to do this? Aoife, help.
Well, I believe it is in the intent of furthering our education, and trying our skills on a practical application.
Can I just send my air elemental?
No.
Because it would be easier to send the air elemental.
Rapidly changing my mind. I think I'm going to hate this.
Yes. Chaos.
It would, Oh,
Someone cast haste on him, for God's sake. Yeah. Just brings him up to normal speed.
well, we could do the one where we go and look at the fire elemental, and that would be like in the realm of elementals, and the air elemental might be useful. Air elemental can blow out a fire elemental, right?
Right?
Anyone?
Think so. Yes.
When you blow on something that's a little bit on fire, what normally happens?
If it's got oxygen in it, then yes, it'll.
Could we make the air elemental a suppressive gas and extinguish the fire?
So you're wanting a sort of a hydrogen elemental. No, that's exactly not what you want. You want like a xenon elemental. You want something, a noble gas.
We could try.
I don't think that's quite what the professor's going for with that, because we're meant to be making the research, not just finishing it. Nicodemus, what do you think?
Well, I think that either of those two options could be really, really fun. But I don't think we're usually allowed to be in the bowels of the college, so that could be a lot of fun too. Just exploring down there.
You do know that that's where the library is, but a lot of it's off limits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, chance to get behind the get into the restricted section. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, not to cause any problems or anything like that, but just imagine what we could learn down there.
Hey, how it might have the secret to your life of leisure.
You may be muted.
Leisure.
All right.
So Nicodemus is probably because I just learned that shrews like insects. That's their primary diet. So he's probably
He'd love this place then, because most of the animals in the Humblewood are insects.
Yeah.
Yeah, a dog is replaced by a decent-sized beetle, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So he is basically, those meat always kind of people.
Yeah.
No, mate, it's not a meal.
Yeah, basically, because
I wouldn't know anything about that, would I, Karen?
So shrews are insectivores, so he would probably stand there with the equivalent of a crab leg, but it's like a termite, like randomly chewing
cracking
on it.
Eating the insides. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah.
So well, if we can go down there, that would be fun.
I think we should approach it as both fulfilling an assignment requirement and an opportunity to seek knowledge on our own interests.
Yes.
And I need the extra credits. I forgot to hand my assignment last week.
And you even had extra time. And from behind you, you hear Professor Birchwalker, who is Hawa's teacher. I even gave you an extension. I thought I was doing him a favor. Apparently not. Well, are you interested?
Yes. We'll explore the bowels of the Avium for you.
She says, well then give me your amulets quickly. And she taps each one with her forefinger, with a talon, and it glows a soft pink very briefly. And she says, you now have permission to be in the library. Mr. Swiftgale will obviously require seeing this, but that should be no problem. You are operating under my authority. don't push it. And she looks specifically at Nicodemus.
Nicodemus makes a very innocent face, but
me?
you see that
Never.
yeah, like you see that like glint in the glasses you get in some cartoons. Like, I'm going to do all the things.
I may push it.
I may push it. Yeah, I may push it.
Don't get into trouble. It's like, no.
Also, try not to die. The restricted section of the library is restricted for a reason.
Okay. Any more specific instructions as to how we do this?
No. I could give you some advice on what not to do.
That works.
Try not to kill anything. Try not to kill yourselves. If any books...
You don't want us to get rid of it.
If you can figure out how, that would be lovely. If you do require assistance, all the better. If you can acknowledge that you require assistance, come and find me. If, however, you think you can figure out what's going on, what needs to happen, then do it yourselves. Basically, this will be graded, and if you can do it without any help, that may well assist your grade.
So how should ideally do it without it?
Well, exactly.
Professor, I'm not sure if it would be allowed, but considering that I'm less prone to forgetting and I can move a lot faster than Hawa does, would it be alright if I hand in his assignments to you?
As long as he does the actual work on them, fine.
Oh, absolutely. I would never dream of having someone else doing someone else's work, but how would he learn anything fun that way?
Exactly. Also, I can tell when someone has written for somebody else. Magic.
I haven't been using Chat GPT, Professor, I promise. Just makes me think of our teacher friend's story about the student who'd clearly used Chat GPT to write their answers, but hadn't even bothered to, reformat it. So it's still formatted the same way as it does. Oh. Just like, guys, if you're going to cheat, could you not be so lazy about it?
I mean, we've had a student at the university here get thrown out for using ChatGPT on their thesis.
I heard the wonderful story recently about the legal case was dead on arrival as it was, but that was not in any way helped by the lawyer getting ChatGPT to write the brief to the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, that's just no.
And ChatGPT.
I think I watched this video too.
Made up a bunch of fake cases to back up their legal arguments. And the judge was like, those don't exist, hey.
I just love how the judge was just like, they're doing that judge thing where they're very careful about the language they use, but the subtext is, mate, you done fucked up.
You fucked up, man. All right, cool. Birchwalker says, well then, finish up and off you go. Have a lovely afternoon.
Aoife's going to open her beak especially wide and tip the remaining fish into it.
Case of Crown versus Preposterous. It was a dude against an airline, but the airline no longer existed, and he was claiming that he'd been injured on the plane flight over 2 years previously. And it was outside statute of limitations for that particular case. Absalom Deck.
It was just such a dumb case in so many ways, and then the lawyer's just like, I'll get ChatGPT to write the brief. No one will ever notice.
That's just hilarious.
He didn't know that ChatGPT lies.
I love reminding people of that and the look on their face. This is just priceless.
It just makes shit up, yeah.
Like, you know it can lie to you, right?
Okay, so we do the thing. I was flying Luftwaffe and had an accident. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you head on down to the library. The library is in the roots of the, I'd say building, but it's not. It's a giant tree. But yeah, it is in the basement. You head down. The main trunk of the tree itself is hollow, and all of the sort of the wall of it is where the classrooms mostly are. Some of the lower levels are where the sleeping quarters are, and then at the base there's a lovely entrance hall. I've been holding back a sneeze for a minute, and it's just not quite coming. And then there is a staircase in the basement, at the ground level, that heads down. And it is guarded by a pair of statues of previous headmasters that react quite vigorously whenever somebody tries to get down that does not have permission to be there. None of the three of you have ever gone past these statues. It is sort of a rite of initiation for a student. They're all told that no one can do it, no one's ever figured out how without permission, and everyone tries at least once. And are rebutted with some force. Depends on quite how vigorously you're trying to get past them.
I just having a mental image of Howard just slowly pressing against the barrier.
And it's because it's so slow, right? He's not actually going to be pushed back that easily. Halfway through it, he just falls asleep.
he starts walking past one of them, and this stone statue's arm just comes out at roughly the same speed and just stops him and pushes him back gently. And it's extremely gentle, and everyone's like, "Huh, it almost worked."
Howard's just asleep on the floor in front of the barrier.
He just sort of slumps down against it, and it just sort of cups him as he sleeps there. And the statue seems completely fine with it.
It's not like this has happened before or anything. No.
But this time you walk, I imagine, with a degree of trepidation towards these statues. I'm actually curious now. What did it look like when Nicodemus tried to sneak past? How did you approach this? This is a staircase going down, so there are banisters all around it, and the entrance to the staircase is where the two statues are. So you could try. Some people tried to jump over the banisters. Some people tried to jump through or rush past. Some people turned themselves invisible. What did you do?
I think Nicodemus, knowing of his skill in bending light, tried to use like his glasses to like not become invisible but become unnoticeable because of how the light hit him.
Bathe himself in shadow, sort of deflect light away, so he's just a shadow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically.
Yeah.
And he, I think what betrayed him was his like. Magic.
Yeah. The statue on the left, which is a large corvum, gently reaches down with two claws and pinches your nose and just turns you around, just spins you around by your nose and gives you a kick along the way, just sort of oof. How about Aoife?
I think Aoife managed to change her robes to look like teacher's robes. And did her best impression of being a responsible adult, just casually sauntering into the restricted section.
And Aoife made it down like 3 steps before one of the statues sort of does a double take. Grabs the robes and pulls you back by them. And Aoife's like, how that worked? Fuck yeah, fuck. No.
Then the cartoon thing where you like get sprung backwards and just leave some feathers behind.
Yep. And it actually throws you with using your cloak as a sling and sort of yeets you. And you're a bird, so you actually turn it into a glide. You don't get hurt, but it throws you with some force. Like, hey, I don't like it when people almost successfully trick me. Yeet. Cool, but this time you walk right on past. Imagine with like a, wait, no good. Oh my god, it's working! It's working! And you just go downstairs to the realm.
Nicodemus is like, with his tiny paws over his snout, so it doesn't get grabbed again. But you can see like the tip just twitching like mad.
Just thinking of our dog who always looks so outraged whenever you boop her snoot. It's like, how dare you touch my nurse?
My snoot. You head down into the realm of Mordain Swiftgale, the cantankerous Strig librarian, an owl folk who looks a bit like this. Did I actually put his picture in? I did not! Great, I'll put it in now. Carry on.
Okay.
Like, sorry, I just took some chocolate because I thought you were going to be talking for a little bit and then you weren't.
No, I stopped. I have done almost everybody else, but I hadn't put in Mordain.
But like, Aoife's head is on a swivel, just like, oh. Yeah. So many things, all forbidden.
What's the comfiest part of the room?
So the library is actually more of a series of tunnels than one room specifically. However, there he is. There's Mordain Swiftgale. I love his tiny glasses.
He looks dashing.
Oh my god.
He has had a bit of a rough time of late. A lot of the students noticed that there was something off about him a couple of months ago, and then all of a sudden, no one knows what happened, or if people do know, it has not been shared around. You guys certainly don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he lost a lot of weight and looked quite a bit older. He is recovering, however, he's looking more his old self now. And yeah, he is a bit of a doddering old strig, but does have an encyclopedic memory for where things are in his domain. And he is assisted by the scribe students. He is not, however, a professor his own self. He is the chief librarian. Yeah, he's generally affable, but yeah, grumpy. Like, affable but cantankerous. Good words. Good woody words.
Like every grouchy old man who pretends he doesn't like cats and then
Actually, Karen, like, I think he's your dad. Like, almost perfectly that. Yeah.
Pretends he doesn't like pets
Pretends
and
he
then
doesn't like the
spoils them
pets,
rotten.
but spoils the dog under the table when no one's watching. Yeah.
I have the most amazing series of photos of him feeding chips to our previous dog.
Yes.
Which I was discreetly taking without saying anything because I was watching him do it going, you
with this little smile on his face. Yeah. So yeah, you head on down. So in terms of comfy, there isn't really. It is all in wood. There is the tunnels are quite natural. This is literally the stone, the petrified roots of a giant tree. So all the roots have basically been hollowed out and lined with wooden or sometimes stone bookcases. And yeah, each sort of, you're in the central section, and there are dozens of paths that just head off in various directions. Mordain is at his desk, but there isn't comfy chairs down here. There are loads of, every now and again you'll find along one of the pathways, you'll find a little study nook with a table and a couple of chairs in it, but that's not where Mordain works.
I want to establish that however the party is walking, the first instant there is like a turn off down these many pathways, Hawa just is turned off and just walks down a different pathway. It's instant.
Yeah. As you come down, Mordain says, "Hello. What are you youngsters looking for?"
Big fiery elemental thing.
Oh, splendid. Good. Jolly good. Been wanting somebody to come down and deal with that for me. Marvelous. Professor Birchwalker sent you, did she? She has some theories. I'm curious to see what you find out about it. All right, conjuration down there. And he points off in a particular direction. Down there, third right. And then you follow the trail of burnt books. It's actually a pain, and if you could deal with it quickly, that would be splendid.
At the mention of burnt books, you see Nicodemus's eyes just...
It's rarely too serious, don't worry, we restore them immediately, but, worth noting that, if you interfere with it, it may get violent, but but it's generally fairly peaceable being.
Oh. Well, not to the books, apparently, obviously.
No, but it doesn't appear sort of... It's not Bengen exactly, but it's not, hostile.
Oh.
Unless you do something that it doesn't like, at which point it has been known to be violent.
Is it fast?
Fast? About as fast as you or I, possibly a little faster than this one.
He's just nodding to the first thing he heard.
He's still reacting to sentence 3.
Suppose you have any books on fiery elemental things?
Mostly down there, actually. Yes, that's the conjuration section.
Ah.
We'll find information on elementals and so forth down there. You're welcome to read whatever you like. If it's got chains on it, I'd avoid it. And don't take anything with you when you go. You have to check that out with me first, and none of you have the, and he tends to not be particularly good with words, and he just indicates the amulets. None of you have that thing. You're not allowed. You can read it down here, though, just don't take it with you.
The professor did something, but I guess that's so we didn't get, snoot dragged by the...
Exactly.
statues.
You're allowed down here. You are currently operating under her aegis, but that does not give you the right to take books out of the library.
Okay. So, down there.
Yes.
Sorry, Aoife.
Do you want me to show you?
Can we smell burning?
Not from where you are.
Okay.
So, you're saying that a fire elemental is burning books now?
Look, I don't think it's an elemental.
What makes you say that?
But there's books.
There is books.
What do you think it is if it's not an elemental?
Well, this is it. It's not like any elemental I've ever seen.
Oh.
Intriguing.
If we describe it, we might be the first to describe it.
You might be. Off you go then. Have fun. Do you want me to
Yes.
lead you, or are you all right?
Just point. We'll go.
Off you go. Down there then.
And Aoife's gonna like hook one wing underneath like Howard's like arm and just like tow him along.
He will at the first point of splitting, you feel him like drifting to the other way.
Alrighty. Yeah, you as you head along, you do notice a couple of signs of. I'm imagining Nicodemus is in front if Aoife is towing Hawa.
Yep.
Yeah, Nicodemus, your eyes are, well, not out on stalks, they're behind glasses, but yeah, you are studying your surrounds. If you are looking for books on fire elementals, it's probably not something you've given a huge amount of study to before, but you can certainly find some down here. The interaction of the fire plane with the plane of the material plane is a long and storied one, particularly in the wood. and it is at least a basic understanding of it you all would have. The fire plane is very... The veil between the fire plane and the material plane is, within the Humblewood, very thin. And it is not uncommon for things to cross over. All elementals are essentially the same being. They are an extrusion of the elemental plane they are from. So they're all one soul, essentially.
Okay.
You would all be aware of that much lore, and very famously, fire elementals have been a problem in the wood. The Scorched Grove, every now and again, expands. It is a place of powerful fire elemental magic, and about 2 months ago, there was a major incursion of fire elementals, which burned down almost a third of the wood, and was only stopped by the very brave incursion of a group of people now called the Saviors of Alderheart, 2 of whom are Avium alumni. The very famous Nevermore son of Lazarus, and Bennick. Bennick, who's now styling himself Bennick Ashbourne, but at the time did not have a surname.
For all the adventures of the Savior of Alderheart, see our YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. I love the connection. This is great.
Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine like there are like books about these in the normal section of the library.
Yep.
Because they were alumni.
There are proto-biographies. Yeah.
You just know there's a little like in the where people come to meet the teachers to see if they're going to send their children here. You know there's a sign up with a portrait of them saying famous alumni. Vanished.
You dead set walked past one of Nevermore's forebears. One of the statues looks. One of the 2 statues, the Corvum, was a previous member of... Nevermore's official surname, and it's never really been mentioned, is Ebonheart. And Lazarus and Nevermore were both Ebonhearts, and the Ebonhearts have been a very famous family within the wood, and one of those statues was a former headmaster, and he was an Ebonheart.
Nice. But yeah, Nicodemus's head is from one side to the other, back and forth, and you can see his snout twitching, and his hands he can't really decide do I want to do that first, or do I want to read that one first, or do I and where the turning point is, he'll stop for a moment, and even though you can see his whole body is vibrating because he just wants to grab something, sit down and read.
Yep.
Must resist. Yes, it's we're here for a reason.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you grabbing a book and having a quick peek.
Yeah.
Any books that indicate about air elementals and how to make them automated?
Autonomous?
Autonomous, yes, automatons.
Alrighty. Ooh, I think this would be the first roll of the game.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to be looking for this, because I've been instinctively roll perception, roll investigate. No, fuck, we don't have that. This one, not a very complicated one, not a particularly difficult thing to do, but yeah, you are looking for information, which would be, I would say it's definitely a
ponder.
A ponder. Yeah, and given that Nicodemus is also having a look around for stuff too, I would say that Nicodemus is helping you, Hawa. So you can have
So I know I've got 1 point in it, so that's 1 die.
And you have a second from Nicodemus helping you. And given that your speciality is elemental magic, I would definitely give you a point for that. So you have 3 dice. Now, Nicodemus, you stand to lose out if Hawa fails. Do you want your assistance to be tied to this?
Yeah. Sure, why not?
All
Okay.
right. Fingers crossed. Let's get a 6. I have 1 success.
Hey!
Hey!
Let's go. 1 success.
Nice.
That
Very well.
worked. Thank goodness.
You find a book on air elementals. The book, yeah. I think Aoife is dragged Hawa along and Nicodemus has stopped and is sort of given in to his urges and has started, so I will give Nicodemus some information here as well of what you were looking for.
Yep.
And tell you what, Ava, you will be able to find a book on something you would be interested in this section as well. Hawa, you learn that you've never really gotten that far of the summoning of elementals before. It's certainly nothing to do with, certainly never figuring out how to make them autonomous. The trick isn't so much actually to make them autonomous, it's making them not autonomous. Summoning them, basically they rock up, and the trick is making them obedient, but also retaining their free will. Retaining their intelligence so that they can be a useful servant rather than just an angry bag of wind.
Okay.
Because they are... The plane of air is one of the more hostile elemental planes, particularly where the material plane is concerned. It is considered very changing and very temperamental. Air magic, on the other hand, is considered extremely powerful. For that exact reason, it's difficult to work. Nicodemus, you were looking for what? Information about fire magic? Or just burnt books?
I think he would start looking for because the librarian said that he doesn't believe that this is a fire elemental.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nicodemus would like get the definition of a fire elemental so he can contrast it with what they find.
The definition of a fire elemental would be just that, an extrusion of the elemental plane of fire. A being that is inherently tied to that plane and possesses a link to it through its spirit and or soul. However, this is not to say it is not independently intelligent. Some fire elementals, and indeed elementals generally, can be very intelligent. And can operate in opposition to other fire elementals. Just because they all come from the same place and have the same soul doesn't necessarily mean they all agree. It's more of a... Soul is the wrong word, it's more like a power source.
Okay.
It is also noteworthy that there is a pecking order with all elemental. A more powerful elemental will boss a lesser elemental. And an elemental that is very strong on its plane would only be fractionally as powerful on the material plane. Aoife, is there any information you would like to gain concerning elementals?
I suppose, because Mordain said he didn't think it was. I almost want to look like, is what you're looking at an elemental? Guide for dummies sort of thing.
Yes.
Possibly looking for a book of other fiery beings that are touched by fire but aren't necessarily a fire elemental. In fact, then I will get you to make a separate check.
Oh.
Because you're going to be doing your own... This is your own sort of investigation, I think. While the other two do theirs, and and
I only have one.
This is looking for something specifically in relation to your journey, your thing. They have one in ponder. Your magic What kind of magic do you utilize? You are a changing magic. This actually, because you're looking for transmutation magic, I think I will give you a point in that because of what it is you're actually looking for. It does actually have relevance to it, even though you don't know that. So I will let you roll a second dice. Elemental or not, a short treatise on magical beings. That's probably the book you find. Yeah, sure.
I can't believe it's not an elemental.
Yeah. I will also give Hawa one more piece of information. The binding of elementals, air or otherwise, can be achieved through various means, often with a magical artifact. The crafting of said artifacts would be an element of enchantment magic.
Alright, cool.
I'm just thinking, Eberron vehicles.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. How'd you do, Karen?
I got a 5 and a 3.
A 5 and a 3.
I don't think elemental or not is in the library.
You can burn a point of hubris to raise that 5 to a 6.
Ooh. Look, I think I shall. I think I will burn a point of hubris too.
Very well. Mark a single point on your hubris tracker. You could also resist the failure, but I think a point of hubris is a better idea.
I think resisting it is a little too dramatic at
Very
this
well.
stage of the adventure.
I think Ava is looking around and gets a little frustrated. What does it look like when you burn hubris? I don't know why I'm doing the storytelling for you. It's your character.
So by burning hubris, is this me using magic to get what I want, or is it?
I think it's basically just sort of a pulse of magic. That's how I sort of figure it. You overcome the adversity with just extra magic. I think it's what you did in the very beginning when Nicodemus met you. Is you have this instinctive connection to magic. I think most wizards do. I would almost, in this setting, describe Ava as a sorceress, not a wizard. But for this, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, well, let's just say, like, all her feathers kind of puff up for a second or two. Like, she's cold and she's trying to get warm. And they all kind of just puff up for a second and, like, quiver, and then they go back to normal.
I will do you one better. They puff up, the ones that on the correct side of the thing you're looking for puff up more. And you follow this and the ripple around you as you turn. It's sort of like an arrow pointing you at the book you need. And on the shelf, you find a book entitled Elemental or Not by A Short Treatise on Magical Beings by Nyquilus Dack. Nyquilus Crunch. I apologize. Yes. In this, it contains a list of... It's sort of a bestiary of creatures that could be mistaken for elementals, but actually aren't. It includes candlebats, which are literally bats with little candles on their foreheads that appear to grow there naturally and exist with a permanent flame burning on them. Ember bats is what they're called, that's right. Ash snakes are also elemental beings. Both of them would be described as elemental beings, but they are not elementals. They are associated with an element. They are not, however, true elementals their own selves. Ash snakes are anywhere between 12 and 30 feet long. Think the worms of Dune, but slightly smaller, and you wouldn't go far wrong. And they are burning internally. The ash
Dune would have a very different vibe if the worms were,
the worms were on fire.
Just that scene where like they're standing at the edge, they're on the edge, they're outrunning the worm, and they're on the edge of the rock, and then he turns around and the worm's like, bah!
And the Queezer's had
huge plume of fire.
Yeah.
The end.
However, you also encounter in there some that are not fire-based. There are a few, not nearly as many. You encounter, there is stone lions, which are lions with a Nyquillus Crunch. Yes, a somewhat sleepy author with a sweet disposition, known for always having a sniffly nose. Exactly. Yeah.
I can sympathize, having been sniffing all damn day.
I believe they were a Mapatch that had the appearance of a panda. And
I love the Humblewood. Everything's just adorable.
everything's very cute. Yeah. So
very cute here.
Yeah, but you encounter a section of things that become elemental through some sort of transformation or transmutation. The most popular in here are the most common things are like undead constructs, life and death being elements and elemental planes in this setting. And yeah, the undead are almost elementals in this setting. So bone constructs, things like that, raised through either necromancy or transmutation. But one other is you encounter the notion of specters. Mortal beings of the material plane, slain by powerful elemental magic. That their spirits retain an element of that, and are sort of permanently transformed by the manner of their death. And I think we will take a short breaklet there, with that tiny reveal. So, a pleasure. Guys, thank you very much for joining us so far. I hope you're enjoying this show. I hope you're enjoying this new campaign. How exciting. We'll take a short break. Be back in 5 to 10. See you very soon, everybody. Say goodbye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Avast, ahoy, and good day. Once again, mateys, we be back for more Humblewood and more Major Magicka. Having a bit of fun so far. We've had our first rolls in the system in the new campaign. So yes, new world, new system. Onyx Def, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, you have joined us for the beginning of a brand new episode, a brand new season. Trying something new. This world is large and storied, but this is a new campaign with new characters that we are only just meeting. We're using the Major Magicka system. It's a very new... Well, I don't think it's very new, but I think it's quite new. And it's an independent system that I acquired the rules for in the Trans Rights for Florida bundle, which is a really good bundle that sadly isn't available anymore, so you can't have it. But there is a similar one for sale at the moment, which is to help HIV sufferers in India. And it looks like a pretty decent bundle as well, and contains Thirsty Sword Lesbians and Wanderhome, both of which are really, really cool games. Strong recommendation. You can find the link on our Discord in the Hung, Drawn, and Quartered. And I will put the Discord link
Just quickly
up.
like to interject that the dog jumped up on me and then let rip.
Immediately farted. Yep, sounds right.
This far from my face. Not
Alrighty.
Impressed. Not
You guys-
impressed.
Roll the success. It was a critical success, I think. Yeah, sure.
Aoife the Puffin, Nicodemus the Elephant Shrew, and Hawa the Brown Sloth are in the bowels of the Avium, the Wizard College of the Humblewood, a giant stone tree. You are in the roots in the library, and you are looking for a fire elemental or suspected fire elemental, and Aoife has just learned that it might not be.
It might be a spectre, a creature slain by elemental magic which retains some elemental-esque characteristics. How convenient that I have stumbled across this knowledge at this crucial junction.
Yeah, well, you did ask to look for it. Yeah, what do you do?
I would like to share this information with my companions.
Oh, well, please do so.
Oh, guys! So, found this, elemental or not, which is, I think we can all agree, a fairly succinct and effective title. And in it, they describe these things called specters, and they're kind of like a ghost, but one that's like elementally. So if a fire elemental killed something and it became a specter, it would be a fiery specter. Because you know how Mordain was saying that it might not be an elemental. This would look like one, but not actually be one.
So, sorry, Brokey. So it would actually be something that already is described, sort of.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but I guess it would depend on what kind of spectre it was. It could be a new type of spectre.
That's true. That could be a very new type. Well, I found this book. It basically had the same information that, well, it expanded on the information we already have about fire elementals. Just a definition of it, and well, the one thing that I was most curious about, but this isn't the fire elemental, but if it had been, the power would have been very much reduced here. But if it's not the fire elemental, we might be in a whole lot of trouble.
Does that mean we can't find it?
We could try.
I like to think they wouldn't have sent us down here if they thought we were going to die.
We can die? Really?
Hope not.
If you said that fire elemental killed something and now is a spectre, we can die. Right?
Well, theoretically, a bookshelf could fall on top of you right now and you would die. So safety's a loose concept at the best of times.
Okay. Bookshelf can kill.
In the right circumstances, yes.
You do notice a few fiery footprints on the floor, sort of burn marks on the floor, where something the shape of talons, a birdfolk's talons, and not like Eva's, which are webbed.
Ooh.
Well,
But you've been noticing sort of scorched books here and there for a while now. This is like, you don't need a survival check to figure out where you're going. Fortunately, because that's not a thing here.
yeah, I think every time you see a scorched book, Nicodemus just twitches a little bit.
I like to think Nicodemus is like prestidigitating or mending them better as he's going. Like... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Their book.
It's okay.
I'd just like to say that I am carrying this book with me now.
Very well.
Elemental or not is tucked under one arm.
Nyquilus Crunch is coming with you.
The other arm, gently steering him every time we go past a corner.
Very well. As you head on down, you can smell, as somebody asked earlier, can we smell burning? You can now smell soot in the air. There is not, I'm trying to think what's the best way to put it. There is a gentle, you hear like the crackling of flames, just quietly.
Does it feel warmer? Is the temperature like getting a bit warmer, like in a cozy warmth?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Hawa is yawning.
Oh no.
And
Is it unlikely to attack if he's asleep?
You come to a broader section, one that has been laid out with as a study nook. And within it, you find... I will show you the picture, indeed. There you are. You will find a being like this. It is a bird folk made of pure fire. They have the look of a raptor, an eagle, but made exclusively of flame. Wherever they step, they leave scorch marks on the stone floor. Fortunately, they're not doing any significant damage to it. And they appear to be holding a book. But the book itself is also made of fire. And you can hear the flames of their form crackling as it goes up to the bookshelf and puts the book back on the shelf. And the book, there is a space for the book. And it's putting that book back into the shelf. It lets go, it stands back and puts its arms on its waist, like admiring what it's done, and then the flaming book gutters out, and it shakes its head. And pulls out another. And it seems to be just repeating this process. It's quite warm in here. There is a couch with a stack of books and a little table next to it.
Hawa is walking towards that couch.
Eva is just so distracted by the flaming bird, she's missed this and now is like,
He's pulling out his pillow very slowly. He just like lies on the couch and rests his head on his pillow.
Nicodemus is transfixed by this bird thing, picking up books and setting them on fire. Like,
I want to be clear. It is not picking up books. Nicodemus may think he is. It is the book literally appears in its hand. A flaming book. A book made entirely of flames. It puts it up there. Each time it does so, the books on either side get a little bit more scorched. But yeah, it's trying to put the book up there.
So is it the same book repeatedly?
You are too far away to tell. Do you go closer?
Is there like a vaguely... is there like a chest high wall-esque point that we could make our way to?
Yeah, there is a chest-high bookshelf, about halfway across the space. The entire place is a warren, so it's very sort of narrow, and yeah, you can get relatively close to it. You can get to within about 15 feet of it, and have something between you and it. It is, however, a wooden bookshelf.
How close is the couch that Howard is now asleep onto it?
It's, again, I say it's a small space. Let's say it's no more than 20 feet away from it.
It's a nice, cozy, by the fireplace kind of thing.
It's just across the room.
Knocked off.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's a fireplace. He's knocked out. That's it. He's asleep.
He's asleep. Okay.
He's asleep.
So this bird hasn't noticed the sloth that's crawled up on the couch and fallen asleep?
Does not appear to have.
Good.
Eva, set the bookshelf on fire. Stop.
Eva's gonna try and sneakily sneak up to this chest-high bookshelf for a closer look.
Is Nicodemus going with? Or gonna let his friend do this alone?
No, Nicodemus following with.
All right.
Mostly because, okay, she makes sense. That does not.
What are you trying to determine, Ava?
I am going to filter through my newly acquired knowledge from elemental or not and try and decide what I think this might be.
You could certainly, This certainly looks like what you guess a fire specter would look like. I won't even have you roll for that. From what you read of them in the book, this could easily be a fire specter. What it's doing down here, you don't know. To your knowledge, no one has been killed by fire elemental magic in the library of late. And you do not recognize this being.
Just my brain is just decided, it's like, maybe it really wants to avoid the overdue fines on this library.
You may make a ponder check.
Yeah?
If you like, and if Nicodemus is helping you with your observations, trying to learn what it is and what it's doing, I will let you have a point from Nicodemus for that. And your transmutation, I don't think transmutation magic would help you unless you can describe to me a way in which it would.
I don't really feel like it's relevant at this kind of conjuncture.
No. Alright. 2 dice.
2 6s.
Pair of 6s. Oh, shit. Very nice. No. We believe. Very well. So, 2 6s is a better success. A pair of 6s is... double success is you get an additional benefit. Very handy in this particular situation. You are able to see the title of the book it is trying to put back. You see it try to put back A Green Thumb's Guide to Xeriscaping.
Can you say it again?
A Green Thumb's Guide to Xeriscaping.
What is Xeriscaping?
Xeriscaping. Xeris, scaping. Xeriscaping, and I did have to Google this. I learned this word the same day I learned the word bloviate. Xeriscaping is the process of landscaping or gardening that reduces or eliminates the need for irrigation.
So a garden you don't have to water.
Exactly, yes. He is trying to return that book to give you more information. That's the sort of the basic information you would have learned from studying him. In fact, I would say Nicodemus notices that. That's his sort of contribution to this investigation. You are probably trying to... Isn't that called whales? Look, it doesn't need irrigating. You are trying to determine what this thing is, I think, Aoife. And, looking at it, it is wearing the robes of a wizard.
Ooh.
Now that you're a little bit closer, you're looking at it, you're studying it carefully, it looks like it's wearing the robes of a druid wizard. As in a druid, a wizard that specializes in druidic magic.
So why would a druid be trying to return this book?
Given what you know, like, where the most likely place for people to die of fire magic is the Scorched Grove. And I will give you no more with those 2 successes.
Quick question. So, you know how schools update their uniforms from time to time?
Yes.
Oh, Avium robes, a bit like that. They changed the style.
This one is slightly out of fashion, yes. And, you know, there are portraits of older wizards and older robes, older styles of clothing, as like headmasters of previous things like that, all around the place. So, getting a rough idea of how old this person's robes would have been, you reckon this person maybe died about 100 years ago. No, sorry, 50. 50 years ago.
That's so cool. What section of the library are we in right now?
You were in conjuration.
Not gardening.
No.
One assumes there is like a horticulture section.
There would be, yes.
Player has an idea that Nicodemus has no idea about.
Or, Aoife's gonna like turn to Nicodemus and be like, "Hey, should I try and talk to it? I think it's just trying to return a book."
Yeah. Well, it's trying to return. But this isn't the gardening section. It is trying to return. Trying to return a book that has to do with gardening. Why is it doing it in the conjuration section?
Well, maybe it can't read? No, that doesn't make sense. Why would it have a book if it couldn't read? Maybe it's confused in this form?
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know anything about ghosts or specters or such like that. I haven't really studied them. This is really interesting, by the way. And yeah, you see his snoot just wiggling intensely right now. He is.
Can I return to the book Elemental or not and open it up to the Spectre section?
Mm-hmm.
And does it say anything about what specters like do?
Yeah.
Like, what's their jam? Do they just
a lot of
hang out
them?
places?
It seems that there have been unconfirmed reports that some specters appear to be either living out their final moments or trying to complete a task that they left undone.
Oh.
In the middle of them like conversing, they look up to see that Hawa is actually standing right next to the specter, like trying to pick out a book from the bookshelf. He woken up from their conversation, and it does in his morning routine has just walked up to the bookshelf and is just now trying to pick a book from the bookshelf. Just one random book.
Oh. Yeah. You find I'll tell you what, can you roll me a d6, please?
Yes, I will. And I was going to ask, because of his natural slow walking method, just quietly, no one recognized he just walked up there. I rolled a 2.
A 2. Alrighty. Yeah, you find a book on... this is a book entitled Elemental Planes and How Not to Go There. And it has, it talks of nodes of elemental magic that can be located in the material plane and in cases in other elemental planes, and how they are the primary means of going from one to another, and why you definitely don't do that. It mentions specifically the plane of water is full of water and therefore not very good for people who can't breathe that. The plane of fire is exceptionally hot for obvious reasons. The plane of air doesn't have very much to stand on, and the plane of earth is actually all right. It's not too bad. Most material beings can survive there relatively well. Plane of life and death, also not nearly as the plane of life not nearly as groovy as you'd actually think, and the plane of death significantly less unpleasant than you'd probably suspect. Not to say nice in either way, but you know, like plane of death, and I was like, and you instantly die when you go there. No, not like that. Just where a lot of dead things live, you know. And plane of life, yeah, it's generally pretty groovy, but some of the things there are still elementals. Plane of life, what do things eat?
So that's great. In Hawa fashion, he holds the book out. He then looks to the bird, fire elemental, or the spectre, Have you read this?
Well, I want this to be a check.
Ooh.
I think this has to be a check.
Yes, he forgot why he's there.
Yep.
Or forgot what that is, and just asked if thinks it's another student.
Yeah.
He's asking if they read the book.
I think it's... Which action? I think it's blow V8, but you could ponder.
Because it was going to be blow V8 because he was going to continue on with the sentence saying, and you know your clothes are on fire.
Yeah,
So
alright.
it would be blow
V8
for that reason.
Love it.
I have nothing in that stat. So
And you're not being helped by the others either.
Do I have to roll 2 to take the lowest?
Yeah.
Just waving at you furiously from behind the chest high bookshelves.
And you're not using your, like, elemental magic. You would have a... You are, but it's air elemental magic, so no.
Yeah.
If anything, you just make it worse, so...
Lowest is a 3, but want this for the
You could burn 3 points of hubris, or you could just resist it. But things will get weirder if you do, or you can fail, and that's okay.
I want it to fail. No.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm allowing it to fail. Yeah.
It looks at you and shakes its head, and then goes to put the book back. And it tries, instead of where it was putting it back, to put it back in the space you've just made. And every time, Nicodemus, it's the same book. The book disappears, he puts it back on the shelf, it stays there for a couple of seconds burning, and then disappears. And then it reappears in its hands, and you can see it is getting frustrated. Like, it's clearly irritated that the book isn't staying.
Yeah, at this point, Nicodemus is just, stop setting what's on fire! Stands up and just, it's not here! You're in the wrong section of the library. Stop burning the books.
Make a blow V8 check, I think.
Is there any chance I can assist on that only because I'm standing right next to the book and I at least know what conjuration books are? If I could see the book they're in, knowing it's not a conjuration book.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
What would you say to assist?
Yeah, that's not a conjuration book. This is.
Nicodemus, you have an assistance. Do you use your magic in any way?
I don't think it can apply here. He uses light. He bends light to create illusions, so I don't think it applies here.
Very well.
Okay. Here's. Come on. Ah, no, that's 2 2s.
You only have a single point in blow V8?
Yeah. So put 2 points in ponder and 1 in
that's right.
each in blow V8 and evoke.
Very well. Well, you can resist it. You can put 4 points of hubris to succeed, which is a lot. It also means that because Hawa is helping, he would also have to put 2 points of hubris his own self. Or you can resist, or you can fail.
If you're concerned about Hawa, don't worry. Hawa's fine. So you do you.
I was contemplating resistance because I have 3 points of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do that.
Your magic flares around you, and as you make the situation weirder,
Yeah, I think Nicodemus is so upset about this entity setting books on fire that he stands up, yells at this thing, and like his form starts like refracting light around him, so it starts glowing.
Then the being turns to you and walks over. You are just this beacon, and its head snaps around, and it stalks to it. Like it doesn't even stalk. It disappears and reappears right in front of you. It doesn't move at all. It is just there, and it shoves the burning book to you.
Oh, hi. Big raptor in Nicodemus's face.
Yeah,
like,
I'm imagining Nicodemus is standing on that chest-high bookshelf. Legs shoulder-width apart, like power stance, lights like, glowing behind him. Aoife, like looking up at him, like get down. And then Raptor is here, and he is beak to snoot with you. So your eyes are still a decent distance from him, but your nose is very sensitive, so you can feel the heat singeing your nose whiskers. It shoves the book to you, and there is a pleading look in its burning eyes.
I'm new down here, but I can find out where that goes. So if you please stop for a moment and don't set more books on fire, I'm going to absolutely go and check where that book belongs. Don't set me on fire.
It shoves the book at you again.
Don't know where the gardening section is. I haven't been down here before.
Did we pass the gardening section on the way here? Or the druidic section?
No, you did not. That would probably be down one of the other main tunnels.
Would you find out where the gardening section is before this thing sets me on fire?
I'm just having a thought. And I'm kind of frantically searching through my pockets to see what I've got on my person.
Sure. What are you looking for? Because you have a collection of assortment of things. What are you looking for?
Like a metal item, preferably.
Yeah? There'd be a few bits and pieces. You'd have some coins. The Humblewood deals in golds, coppers, and silvers. You would have your amulet. That's metal. And you also know that the amulet would be able to direct you to the druidic section.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm like, oh. And I like pull out my amulet and I'm like, take us to the druidic gardening section, please.
And it spins and points, like you just put it on your palm and then it spins and points back the way you came.
Oh, okay. And I'm like looking at it, like, I'm just like, it says we have to go that way.
Okay, so, Mr. Firebird, if you follow her, okay? Please don't set me on fire.
And
he
the bird
adjusts his glasses.
The bird opens its mouth to speak, and you hear in your minds, all three of you, a name. It says, Samus.
Samus is your name, Samus? Okay. Hawa, you okay over there, buddy?
Hawa just like walks up, and then puts his like his sloth have like arms with like long claws. So he's just like patting Samus on the back, like, think this friend need help.
If you follow me, Samus, I will take you to the correct section of the library. Okay?
He sort of gestures with his book for you to go,
I'm a little I'm not stoked about turning my back on this guy, but at the same time, he seems placid, so I'm going to. Aoife's kind of gonna fluff herself up with courage and start following the directions of the amulet. Just occasionally doing a little.
Checking over your shoulder, just like fuck. Yeah.
At first, Hawa's like keeping pace with you, like side by side, and he just looks at you, and it's like, I'd follow you too. It'd be fine. And then after however long, he does just naturally just drifts away.
Yeah.
Into his own direction.
I think I love the idea that Hawa is slow when you're watching him. But then he sort of almost teleports places. Like, he's just like, how the fuck did you get over there? Like, you were not only asleep, you were over there, and you are slow. And then he's just there at the bookshelf, like, hi.
A secret no one will know.
Up. Yeah, I love it. Cool.
Is Hawa a weeping angel?
So, I am going to, for you to convince this thing to go where you wanted to go and manage to do so without it damaging anything, I would like to engage one of the more interesting elements of this. I would like you to perform some major magicka.
Oh, let's go.
Ooh, nice. Yes.
Let's go. It's
okay.
Exciting.
So, the way a major magicka event occurs is when all of you are doing this together. And one of you will be the evoker, the person doing the primary magic. To assemble a major magicka roll, all of the wizards in the group will choose one of their actions to contribute to the spell. At least one of the wizards must use evocation, acting as the magic's catalyst, though multiple wizards can share that burden. All the wizards must also incorporate one of their spell styles. The group should collaboratively determine what this magic is and how everyone contributes. So you are having to cast a group spell to encourage/move this being along, as it wants to follow you, but it doesn't really understand the world that it's in. And it's sort of, you are sort of guiding it, helping it, moving it along, and trying to cause as little damage to the library that it is in as possible, which is a big element of this. It would probably, you'd be able to get it to follow you. It's doing it without damaging stuff. That's the big trick. Hubris cannot be spent to improve rolls, dice after the roll, and resistance cannot be used to front-load success. The only way to turn a non-6 into a 6 during Major Magicka is for a wizard to take an instant instability, which is quite big. However, yeah. 1 6 for all of you is a microscopic success. 2 6 is a minor success. 3 is a decent one, so you're looking for 3 6s. So, you can stack the decks on this, however. You're all going to be using at least one of your kinds of magic. So that's a point for each of you. And then each of you can, like, one of you wants to be rolling evocation, but the other two can do whichever they like.
Hawa would definitely be doing evoke.
Yep.
He's got 2 points in that.
Yep. So Hawa would get 3 dice on his own.
Cool.
What does Hawa's... what is Nicodemus going to be doing? And Hawa, I'm guessing air elemental magic.
Well, essentially the idea of the whole air elemental, using the element of air in this case, is when, like, he stood next to Aoife, he kind of, like, is trying to use air magic to kind of think of, like, a tunnel where it's like, this is the pathway just following, everything else is like the wind is guiding the flame, and it just, the flame is, like, wind follows Aoife. And that's where the magic comes in. Yeah.
So your magic is very much sort of, creating this tunnel through which of its fire, so this highly oxygenated tunnel.
Yeah.
And that also deprives the flames that do lick out of oxygen outside of that tunnel.
Exactly.
Very, very neat. I like it.
So that's how it works with evoking.
Love it. Ava and Nicodemus, what do you do to assist with this?
Sorry.
I would like to change my robes so they're like School of Druidic Magic robes.
Yeah, love it. Yes. So he sees you as and to match his
Yeah.
older
I
style.
basically want a matching robe so I look like I'm like, hey, I'm on your team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, come with me. We'll sort this out together.
I love it. And what skill are you utilizing?
That would have to be.
It could be Bloviate, but you could be doing something else.
Well,
I
would say
advise your
shift.
best skill.
Yeah,
Shift?
Shift is my best skill.
Okay.
Because I have 2 dice
And
in
you
that.
are using
And I am
your physical
trying to
form.
shift my appearance.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
look like a
Very well. So
druidic student.
3 dice for you and Nicodemus.
So, what I would like to do is, because he's an illusion wizard, I would like to, once we get like a bearing of exactly where this is, and based on the book, he's going to try to make the area where we're heading look like almost like a stone garden. So he's gonna shift the light as we move to try and match what this wizard or druid was reading about.
Cool. Make it feel at home and comfortable.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to go here?
Yeah.
This is what you were reading about.
Interesting. Very well. You do that. And what skill are you utilizing?
My strongest one is ponder, but like this, it specifies to learn something.
Or
which
use
is,
logic.
Yeah.
Which you are in this case. You can use your logic of what a druid's life
You
is
figure
like.
out what he's wanting to
Yeah.
do from the title of the book, what he
Yeah.
was sort of interested in. I could allow logic. I could see logic.
Yeah.
Very well.
So then
So
I would use ponder.
ponder. So 3 points,
Yeah.
3 dice for each of you. Roll
Yep.
them bones. You cannot use resistance or hubris.
I have 1 6.
1 6.
Same.
2 6s. How we do, Hawa?
I'm gonna take a point of instability just to force a 6.
Wow, interesting. You're gonna straight up just force one. Alrighty, 3
just forcing a
successes.
6.
That's wizards accomplish what they sought to do with a major compromise. Here's the thing. Before you comprehensively decide you want to do that, because you are gonna get an instability one way or the other. Two sixes is a minor success. The wizards accomplish what they sought to accomplish, but with a major compromise. All wizards take an instability without refreshing their hubris track. A standard success, which would be 3, the wizards accomplish what they sought to accomplish. All wizards take an instability without refreshing their hubris track. So you're going to cop one anyway.
Yeah.
So basically, is Hawa taking a second one to avoid a major without a
Yes.
major compromise? Wow.
Yes, he will take a second one.
Okay. Hawa, so it requires a lot of focus and magical energy to do this. All 3 of you are sort of putting your all into this. This is more magic than any of you have ever channeled before. I'm actually going to say that Hawa is also using his gravity magic to keep the flames suppressed. So you're all just singing singing. You're all just burning on all your brain cells currently right now. And it just forces you to, magic just courses through you. Can you all roll a d6? And Hawa, can you roll 2 and say which one you roll first?
Okay.
Because instability happens.
Well, they're both 1s.
A pair of 1s.
Pair of 1s.
Ava, How'd you do?
A 2.
A 2. Interesting. And Nicodemus?
A 4.
A 4. Ooh, interesting. Alrighty. Nicodemus, would you say that your sense of smell is fairly powerful? Fairly, like, one of your primary senses? As an elephant shrew? Yeah? Alrighty.
Yeah.
So... this is hilarious. So, Hawa, as you continue along your path, unusual runes begin to glow on your skin as you slowly move along this, next to this flaming being. I would say that they are a mixture of flaming runes and glowing air magic runes. Air magic is canonically a light green. And so, yeah, you have this mixture of green and red runes glowing beneath your floof. You also, and I love this, are always drifting away. You get easily distracted is your level 2 instability. So it is now turned up to 11.
so now, by the time they reach, he's actually walking backwards.
Yeah.
He's walking the other way around, admiring his new tattoos in a way.
Yeah. Aether, you sprout a pair of horns.
Oh.
Okay.
What do they look like?
I'm going
You'll
to
note
say that
I did not say from where.
I'm going to say that they're going to match my beak wherever they happen to have popped up. So they're...
You choose. You can choose. They can be wherever you like. It's your character. They could be in the normal spot for horns. Or I kind of like ridges. I could see like draconic horny ridges down your spine.
Yeah. Get a little bit of a...
Or
almost like a horny comb.
Elephant tusks. You could go full Magnus the Red with a pair coming out from your chest. Freaking weird. It's a sort of Egyptian style thing, I think.
I think I'm gonna go with sort of like almost like I'm getting a little bit of a
Wolverine
mohawk.
claws. That's dope as fuck. Particularly.
Can I get spurs on the back of my feet?
Yes, you can.
Ooh.
That's sick.
And they're orange with a black stripe to match my beak.
Love it. Off the back of your... I'm going to say it's like it sticks up at about a sort of a 40-degree angle off the back of your ankle. Like a spur. Like a horse rider's spur. And Nicodemus, your sense of smell starts malfunctioning.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And now things do not smell the way they usually do. So where before you could smell burning book, now you can smell the distinctive smell of peonies.
Okay.
Not unpleasant, but it doesn't smell like burnt book. You slowly, carefully, you guide this fiery spectre through the caverns of the library at the Avium. You have to go all the way back to the core section where Mordain is sitting. Mordain sort of perks up and says, Oh, what are you doing? Oh, okay, all right. Yes, jolly good. Where are you taking it?
It's trying to return a book to the druidic section.
Ah, interesting. All right, okay, jolly good. What is it? Because that's not an elemental. That's definitely not an elemental. Any thoughts?
And I kind of hold up the elemental or not. It's like, I think it's a spectre.
Oh yeah, that would track. Yeah, well, jolly good, young Aether. Well done. All right, well, druidic's down there. Take a left at horticulture and a right at enchantment. Yes. You successfully take it back. You get to a set of dusty shelves. Clearly, this is not a particularly popular section of the library, and the spectre heads confidently over to the shelf and places the book in an empty spot. As it does so, the book rematerializes. the flames gutter out, and a actual book, a Green Thumb's Guide to Xeriscaping, appears. And can you, Aether and Nicodemus? No. It turns and smiles at the three of you, bows, and then holds out a hand to Hawa. And Hawa, it goes to shake your hand, and if you do so, do you do so?
Yes, because to Hawa, this guy is just another student that's just friendly and was on fire. It's just like, okay.
Like, dude, you should do something about that. And,
You're still on fire.
And in your head, you hear, thanks. Actually, it says, thanks, bro. And then it gutters out. And left in Hawa's hand is a single burning feather.
That was intense.
Is that hurting you?
I sniff it.
It does not.
I smell it.
It smells. Your familiarity with elemental magic. It smells. You can smell the magic on it.
Okay.
You are familiar enough with air elemental magic. Air elemental magic obviously always has a sort of the scent of a fresh breeze, yeah, there's often different notes in it, but that tends to be the general vibe of it. This one, however, is laden with soot mixed in with it. But yeah, it's very much. It's not unpleasant. It's just, I'm saying the smell of soot isn't unpleasant. But yeah, it doesn't make you go but it smells of soot. But it's not harmful to you. It is simply a token.
I put it in one of my many pockets.
Mm.
One of the pockets that doesn't have leaves in it.
Good call.
It is in no way. You probably could use it to start a fire, but it is not itself flammable.
Okay.
It looks like it's on fire. It's more like a physical. It has a physical presence, but it's basically an illusion. The flames are an illusion.
Does this ring a bell to the book I read earlier before about some kind of artifact, of an elemental artifact? Like
it.
I wouldn't know yet, just because
I would say, I don't think you would know. Tell you what, seeing as we're here, seeing as we're rolling dice, roll me a learn stuff.
Or learn stuff.
Roll me a ponder.
Okay. It would be.
And
I have
with
one
with your
ponder.
elemental knowledge.
Okay, that's 2. I rolled a 6. Let's go.
There you go.
Nice.
You think it definitely. You don't think it could be used as the binding catalyst itself, but you could use it as part of that. It could be used to help create that.
Cool.
How long ago, for player perspective, because Nicodemus would obviously know this, but how long ago was the thing that happened in the Scorched Grove?
2 months ago was when it sort of blew up, but it's been burning for 400 years.
Okay.
However, every now and again it gets worse. And there was an incident of it expanding, getting quite bad about 50 years ago.
Yeah. So Nicodemus would turn to the other two. Do you think that? Do you think that druid was working on a way to maybe, I don't know, help people living around it?
Oh, so you can make gardens that didn't need to be watered,
or didn't set themselves on fire?
Or that.
Or that.
And maybe he was caught in the expansion.
Maybe. And they just knew that the right thing to do is to return your library books.
Yeah.
And you hear from behind you Mordain go, "Oh, that's where that went. Now that explains that mystery. Thank goodness. Only 417 books now need to be returned." Oh,
wait, there are 417 books missing?
Overdue. We don't use the word missing. I'm sure they'll turn up.
Oh, sorry.
50 years overdue is a long time overdue, though.
Yes, yeah, well, they always turn up eventually. I'm hoping to get the number down below 400 before I die.
Oh,
if I do, I'll be the first librarian in over 300 songs to do that.
I could help, but I can't promise I won't read the books on the way.
Oh, you're welcome to any books you find. I happen to know that a couple of them are wound up in the bloody Candlekeep, and they're not giving them back.
Oh, well, they're not coming back if they're in the Candlekeep.
But you can get copies.
We'll see.
I hear they make copies.
Crossover episode.
Suppose there's any chance I could borrow this one, maybe?
I see. I'll tell you what.
Further study?
As long as it comes back within 12 hours.
Nicodemus, we've got 12 hours to read this bad boy.
Yes. I'll bring the big notebook.
Well done, all three of you. I shall inform Professor Birchwalker of your assistance. I'm sure a grade will be forthcoming. Well done. Now, off you hop. Nearly dinner time.
See, unbeknownst to Aoife and Nicodemus, normally Hawa would actually stick around and wait, but because of the instability of how he drifts unusually more, he's now like just gone. Like he was like the instant he had to leave, he's like okay, and just has walked off.
Yep.
So the entire conversation is he's been walking and deeper into the library.
Oh well. I get my amulet. I'm like, where's Hawa gone?
You find him sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, back where you went. Yeah,
back at the couch, he's sleeping.
You take Hawa. Yes, a major Magicka Humblewood Candlekeep mystery. Simple. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So super straightforward.
Fairly an inconvenience.
You take Hawa upstairs, and you all have dinner. Professor Birchwalker presents you with a solid B+ solution and extra credit, and forgives Hawa for his his failure to hand in his last project in a timely manner. And I think we'll leave it there. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this first experience with Major Magicka.
Loved it.
It's a good little thing. So we will get to sort of downtime activities and things like that next week when we return with the wonderful Brendan Ellis. Hopefully Brendan will have the spoons to join us next week. If not, we've got a perfectly serviceable party of 3. So guys,
Shenanigans.
That was super fun. Thank you very much for all the shenanigans. Exactly. You'll notice the title of this little campaign is called Of Sorcery and Shenanigans, to fit with the naming convention of my Humblewood world. Yes, episode 1, A Proclivity for Chaos. What a wonderful time. Guys, now we're going to do something we do at the end of all of our streams. We do our favorite, where we talk about the events of the session that was, and compliment each other, because it's being a creative is hard, and this is something I've stolen unapologetically from the dreaded GM. Cracker School, been lurking, listening since the beginning. Great fun, everyone. Thanks. Cracker School, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. A pleasure. So, first of all, we need a D4 in chat, with Gio as 1, Karen as 2, me as 3, and Ardanna as 4, to see who gets talked about and flattered thoroughly first. So, if somebody would do me the immense favor of rolling !roll space the number 4 in chat, Roll, exclamation mark, roll, as in ROLL, space, the number 4. Anybody is welcome to do it, and we will take whatever happens first. This is something I'm very fond of doing. It is important to sit and acknowledge how well people did. No D. You don't need the D. An exclamation mark before the roll. There you go. Cracker's cool. Thank you very much. A 1 on the dice. That's appropriate. Geo is the one who is new here, so we will talk about Geo first. We flatter you, and then Geo at the end, you have to flatter yourself, because acknowledging where you did good is just as important. So, guys, what was our favorite Hawa moments tonight?
I loved it when we were trying and come up with a plan behind the chest high bookcase, and then we turn around and Hawa's just like, I'm just gonna go get a book now next to the giant flaming bird, as if everything's fine. No worries. That was it's delightful.
I really liked your reasoning of how to make your evocation make sense with the major Magicka. How your air magic could help in this situation. I was like, that was well thought out, well done. Absolutely. I have a second, but I will wait. Ardanna?
Just going to sleep on the couch next to a big ass bird on the fire. Just what? I know that Hawa is easily twice Nicodemus' size. Easily. It's a big bird and it's on fire, and it's yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, just cute, just fun. Favorite self moment?
Favorite self moment was, I guess, being able to talk the way Hawa talks. It was something I was naturally dreading how it's going to play out, because I knew it would be innately annoying, and it was great, and it still kept going, and it was just like, yes, this is Hawa, it's how I envisioned him to be come to fruition, and it's great.
I think initially it was a bit irritating, but you slightly modified it. About halfway through, it became, rather than each word, there was pauses, and it had this sort of flow to it. And it was, have you thought of? And it was a lot less irritating when it switched to that. I was like, that works. It's still very much in character. It's still very slow, but it's not painful. You found that balance really well. And I love, I'll give you a second, I love suboptimal character choices. And it was really cool. I was like, I'm going to sleep. And I'm going to talk in a really slow way that's potentially irritating. It was brave to make these choices, but when they weren't necessarily optimal, and you didn't have to do it. It was just cool. I really suboptimal character choices are very fun. Alrighty. We have had...
If I can interject really quick. When you said that, by the way, I have a thing about how he speaks, and I was like,
oh dear.
Brandon is gonna love this one, because he, at least his character, hates the way my character Janvarin speaks. He hates it with a passion.
Oh, Brendan, yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Well, we've had Crispin Crunch rolled a -3 in chat and got a -1, so we'll talk about Karen next. Favorite Karen moments, everybody. Favorite Aoife.
Having to pick one is hard.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm glad you went with that and not, just trying to think of something.
I have four. I have 4 different that I need to pick between.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck between 2. I got one that's now picked.
I'll go first then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was asking Mordain if you can borrow that book at the end. It was just cute. She's a sweetie. I thought it was really cute. Yeah.
Okay. Then I have picked the one I want, because this one bookends it. The first thing when we're like, okay, so let's set out, and Aoife just basically unhinges her jaw and shoves all the fish in.
Yes. That's so good. No, that's good.
It may have been because like when I was looking for pictures of puffins to kind of just get because like I know what they look like, but I was like, I'll just quickly look up a picture of a puffin so it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
And one of them was this puffin with just like all this fish sticking out of its beak, and it was amazing. I was just like, love it. Vibe.
That was great. Mine would have to be you're at the chest height draw, and it's just like Hawa has like stood there like at the reading book, and you're just like, Hawa, no. Like, like every moment, anytime like Hawa did something, it's just you played it really well because obviously we started off with, you'll like protect him and you'll make sure he's safe, but then that happened with, I'm gonna hook my arm around him, make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Oh, Major Magicka, how am I gonna keep Hawa? Like it's it's very thoughtfulness where everything else is happening on, but he's still kind of kept to that character element of it, which is really great.
He's very caring.
Yes.
Favorite self, Karen?
I was it was a moment where I was just like, are they trying to return a library book? And I kind of said it as a joke because I was like, there's no way it's that simple. And then it actually was that simple. They wanted to take their library book back. And I'm like, I get that urge. Librarians can be scary.
Mordain is quite formidable. Yeah.
And like I may have water damaged a library book when I was in school, and I was just dreading taking it back because I knew I was going to get like an earful about taking proper care of the book, and it wasn't my fault.
Absolutely. All right, now we need a D2 in chat, please. Exclamation mark roll space 2. Psychol, if you could do us the favor. Yes. I think because I have a group one. I really enjoyed all three of you. How you, when I said, how do you get past? How in the past did you try to get past these statues? And all three of you had some really cool ideas. We get a 1. We're talking about me. We're talking about the DM. Favorite DM moments, then, guys. Thank you, Psycho.
Oh, this is gonna be tough because it's so. I gotta really like think. There were a lot. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Like.
This one was quite lore heavy, just to sort of introduce you to those who hadn't played in this setting or hadn't played much in this setting before. There was quite a lot to like, okay, so this, let me explain.
I actually loved the statues expelling us all individually from the thing in the past.
Yes.
That was lovely detail. That not just we just got pushed back, it was just like, no, you're all individually turned around in a specific way.
Like they've got a little bit of a personality to them, yeah.
Yeah. I really love that too, especially the
Yeet.
But that's not that was well, since that was already taken, I think just Professor Birchwalker.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna go with too.
Just a personality, the way you portrayed her. I love that. But I mean, your NPCs in general, but specifically her.
Yeah, she's fun. She hasn't had a lot to do in Humblewood yet either. She is a canonic character. She is from the book, actually. She's from the original book, and but they pretty much just never interacted with her after that. She's the first professor you meet at the Avium, and yeah, they pretty much just, none of them ever really interacted with her afterwards, so she hadn't been very fleshed out. So it was nice to be able to bring her back in. She's the conjuration professor, so it made sense.
Yeah, no, I'd say the same thing. The Birchwalker was just great. It was just the way she came into it, narratively wise. We're all stuck there thinking, having a chat, and it just what a professor would do. Just we'll intervene, we'll pick on one of the students. It just worked really well. That initial conversation starter was good.
I quite liked for a self moment, I quite liked basically how I learned a new system. But like, I like it for the because it is rules light, and it's called no prep, and I'm like, let's give it a little bit of prep. So yeah, the two options came up, and neither of them required more than 5 minutes of thought of how to do that, of how to put that into the world. And I had there were two solutions to the to this problem, and you guys, well, I was like, I'm going to write a solution. And if they need one, they can figure out the one I've figured out, or they can come up with their own solution. You came up with your own solution. My solution was different. It was finding the book, because the real book is out in the world, and you could have gone and found it and returned it yourselves, instead of showing him where to return his book, his version of it, which is what you did, which was as cool and nicer. And I liked my usage. Are you
prepared to tell us where it was?
Yes. It was in Gilda Nightseed's office. Professor Nightseed collects something called deodans. Things which are items that have, they're inanimate objects that have caused the death of a sentient being. And it's a real thing. It's actually based in Catholic law. There was actually if a thing caused somebody's death, that thing itself was forfeit to the church. It was called a deodand. And
how handy for the church.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? But like, yeah,
that
if your
very expensive vase killed
if your
a man.
cow killed somebody, you had to give the cow to the church. For example, and that was an actual example in my readings of it. It's something I came across in high fantasy novels, and in actual fact, it was Warhammer. Yeah, just a really cool thing. But yeah, she's a necromancy professor. She's into death stuff, and she collects things that have killed people. And not like a sword that involves a human being, that involves somebody. Like one of them is a floor tile and a small vial of water, and it was just a slippery floor tile this person slipped on and cracked their skull. It killed them. Or there was a roofing tile that had fell off and just hit somebody on the head and they died. Wow. That sort of thing. One of them's a fence.
Oh no.
Just like it's a small section of fence, and you're like, I wonder what the story with that one is. But one of them was this book. This guy was in the plane. It was in the Scorched Grove, trying to figure out how to basically make it farmable, and got stuck there. And the book was basically the reason he died, and therefore, it's a deodand. And Gilda
I didn't think to return it to the library.
Gilda has a very flexible relationship with returning books to the library.
Next thing you know, that's where all the 417 books are. It's just
he could get his number. He could get his number below 400 just by checking out her office. Unfortunately, she is on permanent sabbatical and is not currently in residence at the Avium, so you would have had to break in. And she is a professor of wizardry. It would not have been easy, and it would definitely have been a major magicka to do so. But I also really liked in future I will qualify, major magicka is a choice normally made by the players. We would like to do a major magicka at this point. But because I wanted to show off as many of the mechanics as possible in a single session, I sort of forced it upon you, but I thought it was a good point to do it.
But also, it does raise a point to show us, like, when could we ever invoke one? Moments like that, where that's what we would be looking for to ever invoke a major magicka, which is cool.
Yeah. Promethean. Hey, this guy's bank account was responsible for paying for that ill-fated trip to an active volcano. Yoink! That was not in the examples, but it wouldn't shock. Well, I think that leaves us only with one more person to talk about. Let us flatter Ardanna. Favorite Nicodemus moments, guys.
iconic light moment standing on top of the shelf.
Yes.
So that's just pinpoint the perfect moment. The
So
confidence, everything, just brilliant.
And it almost didn't work.
It was a small thing, but it was Nicodemus covering their nose as they went through the statue bit, just like,
yeah.
You're getting me again.
I think generally there was a lot of lovely face acting. I really enjoyed your physical representation of what you were being. But you also had a lovely... You came in with a strong idea of who he was. He was like, you played him very well. All three of you did, but you came in knowing who Nicodemus was and portrayed him he was a very distinct character. I understood exactly what he was and who he was very quickly. Yeah, that was lovely. He's a cutie.
Thank you.
And the consistent and intense outrage at the books being burned.
Yeah.
Stop. Well, that was played on from a memory when I worked at the thrift store.
Oh no.
And I literally had to tear the cover off of books for recycling. Because they couldn't be sold. And so I had to tear them apart because they recycled in 2 different bins.
Oh, that's painful.
Favorite self?
Yeah. I think my favorite self. Well, again with the start. So I had no idea how we were going to start that thing, but when Karen mentioned how Eva was like snacking on fish, I was like, well, what do shrews eat? They eat insects. So of course he's gonna have his crab leg with him. It's like...
Yeah.
I like to think of them just thoughtfully chewing on it, like a Bugs Bunny with a carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, books?
Or actually, Peter, get my thinking grenade.
That might work. Bah! Splendid. Alrighty, well guys, thank you very much for our favourite moments. We will go away from here now because we've been streaming for a gosh darn while, but it has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you all this evening. We will drop a raid on the Eldritch Scribe, who are doing their usual Monday night D&D campaign, I believe. Kingslayers is back for another week, and they are, I believe, in a bit of a war situation over there at the moment. It looks fairly serious. Kingslayers episode 61. Wow. Episode Finally Rest, it's called. So, we'll drop a raid on them. But guys, who the absolute heck have you been today? And generally speaking, who are you all the time? Ardanna went first last time. We'll get Karen. Who the heck are you?
Hi, I am Karen, sometimes known as the Mother of Bunnies. You can find me here, usually on Monday and Thursday nights. And you can find me on Twitter at Mother of Bunnies. And you can listen to my super sultry tones on the D&D podcast, There Be Dragons. And I'm not joking about the super sultry because a lot of the episodes were recorded when I was, in fact, quite ill. So I sound all husky and stuff. In fact, I believe there is one episode where I roll really badly and go, screw this, I'm lying down again, because I'd been lying on the floor next to the table.
Yep.
And I got up to do the fight, and it was not going well. And yes, you can also follow my burlesque adventures over on Instagram at Miss Lola Moore, or you can find me in real life on the 24th of June as part of competing as part of Miss Burlesque WA, which is going to be super exciting and not at all stressful and playing on my mind right now.
Splendid. Gio, who the absolute heck are you?
Hi, my name is Gio. I'm from the OzQuest crew. We started the campaign yesterday. That is helmed by the ever so amazing Promethean, also part of OzQuest. You'll find me there pretty much whenever that is now going to have the next episode, which who knows when. Otherwise, we do have our Thursday sessions of OzQuest Games Night. That is literally everyone from the community of every way, shape, and form come down. We can just play some community games together and just have some laughs and de-stress away from the week that we've all had. Otherwise, on socials, I am the Night Geo on Twitter, and that's pretty much about it.
Marvelous.
Thank you.
Ardanna, who the heck are you?
Hi, I'm Ardanna or Joe or Oi, you there, depending on situation. I am the GM and channel runner over at the Lorite, and tonight I was playing Nicodemus, the little elephant shrew. I don't really have socials. I think I have an active Reddit account somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Does YouTube count as socials?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Almost nowadays, yeah.
Yeah. I know I have an Instagram account because I follow Karen on that one. But that's about it.
Yeah, I think I tagged you in it.
Yeah.
So if you go to our socials, I'm pretty sure I managed to tag you.
Yeah.
Splendid. And
I
you
don't
can find
post on
Ardanna
Instagram, so.
on the Lorite on, I don't know, but before then, but Friday night, where we will be playing some more Shadows over Morna with Terrace. The 7th campaign that Ardanna is helming so ably. Speaking of learning new systems very much on the fly, fucking cool game. If you're looking for a similarly rules light, very story heavy, very roleplay heavy. If you enjoyed Major Magicka, you will probably enjoy 7th Sea. It's a little bit more rules heavy. The character creation is a lot more rules heavy. But yeah, the actual gameplay is not dissimilar. Yeah, strong recommendation. Very good game. And Ardanna and Terrace are always super fun to play with. And Madame and Monsieur, Dame und Herren and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsairs Cove, where I run D&D and other RPG-related things with my lovely wife Karen, the mother of bunnies, and all of my wonderful friends. Geo, thank you very much for coming and joining us, you wonderful guest, you. And Ardanna, your face is always welcome here as well. And as his voice as well, we like the voice too. You can find Karen and I back on Thursday night for more Humblewood. If you enjoyed this experience of the Humblewood, and this was your first experience of it, welcome to the big wide world of Humblewood. Thursday will be, yes, more of Monsters and Magic, where Major Kesh Glitterweave, and the gang are trying to get to the plane of life. In fact, they've just gone, and that's going to be fun. We will have a special guest that night as well, one that Geo knows because Fenway, the teen DM, is joining us over there for a character that you may recognize, Geo, as well. Yes, Fenway will be bringing back Dahlia from where I met Geo and Fenway. The little... Oh dear, have we had a dog and a rabbit argue?
Just a little bit. They can't get to each other. They can just, gesticulate from opposite sides of the fence.
Well, we played in Jasper's Game Week a little while back, and yes, Fenway and what was your character's name?
Silverthorn, Fizzlespark, Scalebender.
Fizzlespark. Yes. A sorcerer. And Dahlia was playing a sprite, a fairy, a pixie, which is technically a life elemental. So there's you have some clue about what you might be meeting on the plane of life, as well as a bunch of sheep.
You're in all for a delight. I'm telling you now. It's a sheepish moment, but it's fantastic.
It's so much. It's very good. Tomorrow night I'll be back for another Tactics Tuesday, where I am going to be doing something a bit different. This week I have noticed that I have a huge amount of 5e expansions for 5e, homebrew or third-party 5e expansions, and I'm going to look at a bunch of those, including rules for playing a level 0 character, which I think is kind of cool. I really like it as like a session 0 or even a session -1. That could be kind of fun. So yeah, we'll have a look at that and a few other bits and pieces I've got tucked away and see if we think any of them are not broken as fuck. That could be kind of fun. And yes, then Friday night I'll be over on Ardanna's channel. Karen, can you tell me about Ukraine, please?
I can, Josh. The Ukraine, you may have heard of it and its unfortunate situation that it's been caught up in the last year and a bit. And so if you're in a position to maybe make a small financial contribution to helping a Ukrainian's life be a little less shit at the moment, there are 2 links in chat. The first one is for the Emergency Action Appeal. That is just straight up donation. It's a list of charities and not-for-profits that are banding together to support Ukrainian refugees. You just pick which one you want to donate to and tell them how much you would like to donate, and they will gratefully accept contributions large and small. But if you would like a slightly more TTRPG related situation, the second link is for the Curious Compendium of Slavic Myth, which is a wonderful little D&D booklet you can buy. It's inspired by the mythology and geography of Ukraine and that part of Europe. So it's got creatures, subclasses, it's got a wonderful one-shot. Ironically, where you're looking for a firebird. They're not the one we encountered tonight, a different one, which we played. You can watch it over on our YouTube if you would like a little bit of an insight into kind of what sort of stuff you can expect from that. And yeah, you can get yourself a copy for a £1 donation, but the donation is not capped, so you can donate more if you would like to. And that goes to the British Red Cross Appeal for Ukraine.
Marvelous. The music you have been listening to this evening is provided by the marvelous Sirenscape. That is the noises that are gracing your ear holes right now. And I should also mention Woodenforge, the creators of WA's finest handcrafted wooden tabletop accessories, like this bad boy. This is an adventurer's chest made of chewit. They make all artisan quality handcrafted tabletop accessories out of recycled and Australian hardwoods. Incredible stuff. Check them out, woodenforge.com/Corsairs Cove if you have any spare pennies, and we get a cheeky little kickback from any purchase you make. So yeah, do us, do them, do yourself a favor and go over there and check out their wonderful stuff. Yeah, guys, I think we should go away from here now because we've mentioned practically everything we're associated with and involved with. So we will throw a raid over to the Eldritch Scribe. Please throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat. Tell Des and the gang where you came from. Show them the love like we always do. And we will see you same bad time, same bad channel tomorrow night for more Tactics Tuesday. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.